Hi everybody, this is Monica Main and welcome to this very special edition of The Secret Behind Getting Endless Amounts of Cash for Your Deals. And by deals, I mean real estate deals. I also mean to start a business. So many of you need money to start a business, for example. Many of you need money and cash for your deals for real estate. So there's only one secret to making all of this work, believe it or not. And I'm going to share with you this one secret on how to become rich beyond your wildest dreams. So this is a picture of me sitting in front of some buildings in Detroit, Michigan. And this is when I was starting the process of heavily investing in the Michigan, the greater Detroit area. I've made millions of dollars from the city of Detroit with the real estate transactions that I've been able to do. And I was able to do it with this one secret that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so this is going to be an exciting presentation. I've never presented this before. So I absolutely cannot wait to share with you my secrets on getting started with real estate with this one secret on how to gain access to endless amounts of cash for your deals. Okay, so is everybody ready? I want to hear a shout out from everybody. I'm super excited about this. So give me a shout out on where you're from and who you are, and if you guys are as pumped up as I am about this particular presentation, because like I said, again, I've never done this one before. This is going to be a treat for you guys and gals who are truly interested in becoming multimillionaires in real estate investing. And just give me a shout out. There's a little box you could type in and just tell me your name, where you're from, and what you hope to get out of this, because I just want to hear from you guys to make sure that you're there and make sure that you're not already sleeping on me, because this is going to be a powerful, life-changing presentation for you, okay? So go ahead, give me a shout out. I want to hear from you guys and gals out there. How many of you actually want to know how you can gain access to endless amounts of cash for any of your real estate deals or any of your business ventures? Okay, good. Carl from Alameda, California, welcome. All right. I have Reginald out there. I could see you there, Reginald. Go ahead and give me a shout out. Reginald from Illinois. Thank you very much. Debbie. Debbie, where are you from? I'm so excited about all you guys. We have Cookie Bob from Massachusetts. Good to have you guys here. I have a lot of you coming in. I'm so excited about this particular presentation above all else, because many of you know that I've been able to, I guess you could say, surmount a massive amount of money from investing in real estate. And I wanted to share with you, perhaps for some of you, for the first time ever, and exactly how I've been able to make that happen. All right. Eric from Arizona, you guys are all welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me. So I have made a lot of money in real estate, and I never hit up a single friend. I never hit up a single family member. I never pulled out of retirement accounts because I never had any retirement accounts before. I never ever begged from a loan from a bank, and I'm going to explain to you all why this is, why I never was able to do any of those things, mostly because I don't have any real friends or family that I can call friends or family anyway. And like I mentioned, I didn't even have a retirement account or accounts to pull from back then when I first got started. And I certainly was not a qualified applicant to be able to get a loan from a bank. Yet I've been able to make millions and millions of dollars from real estate, never using any of my own cash and never actually going through any of these things. So how many of you actually want to know this secret that I've used over the years to be able to acquire millions of dollars in real estate, making millions of dollars in passive income, real estate income from my investments? How many of you actually want to know how I've done it? I mean, give me a shout out and say yes. Come on, I need some energy from you guys. Come on, this is a high energy presentation, and I want you to feel it, how excited I am about this, because let me tell you this, what I'm about to share with you is life changing, okay? This can literally change the entire financial trajectory of your life, what I'm about to share with you. It changed my life, and it could change your life, okay? So give me a yes. I'm getting a lot of yeses. Some of them are misspelled, but that's okay. All right, let's do this, all right? So my goal in this presentation is to show you my exact, precise cash grab secret. Yeah, that's right. I call it a cash grab secret in the next 90 minutes, because this is money. This is cash that you could use for building massive amounts of cash flow wealth. And the cash flow wealth does not necessarily have to be with real estate investing. It's mostly what I've done over the years, but you can actually use this very same strategy to be able to raise capital for anything. If you want to raise capital for a film shoot, I've had students do that before, where they wanted to create documentaries and they didn't have the money to do it. So they use these very same strategies to raise the capital for their documentary films. You can use the money for that. You can use the money if you want to start a sports bar or a restaurant or any of the types of businesses that you really have a passion for. You don't have to just use this secret for real estate only. You can use it to raise capital for anything. And by the way, in case I didn't put it on hard enough. This is the key reason as to why I'm a real estate millionaire. Okay. So in case I didn't get it out there or make myself very clear, there is this one secret behind why I'm a real estate millionaire. There's only one secret, because let me tell you, I'm not that brilliant. I'm not that smart. My math skills are way off. I actually have to, yesterday when I took my daughter to breakfast, I had to have the lady behind the counter actually add up the tip to make it an even amount, or to add it up to be able to tell what the bill was and the tip I wanted to leave, because I can't even add quickly. I mean, that's how bad I am at math, and yet I've been able to make millions of dollars in real estate with this one key secret, and I was kind of forced into it. And so I'm so glad. They say some of the worst times of your life, some of the biggest calamities that take place sometimes can be the biggest blessings. And I'm going to share with you exactly what that calamity was and why it actually turned out to be the most significant turning point in my entire life. And I'm going to show you how it's going to be your turning point as well. And also, too, by the way, this is going to be a little bit of a long presentation, but for those of you that actually stay to the very end, I have a powerful free gift for you. And I'm going to give you a list of private investors that I have who can fund your deals and your business ventures. And I actually also, too, have another free gift for you at the very end. And I'll tell you what it is right when we get to the very end of this presentation. So it gives you a little bit of incentive to hang out with me, to listen to what I have to say as far as why and how this is going to be so powerful in your life. And then to actually get a list of private investors that can actually give you funds for your real estate deals, but also to other investment projects that you have. So is that fair? Who wants to know about my list of private investors? Say yes. Go ahead. Give me a yes. I want to hear some high energy from you guys, because I have to keep up the high energy myself. I just drank a whole big glass of iced tea, so I probably will not be sleeping until about 1 o'clock in the morning, but that's okay, because I wanted to be pumped up for you guys to be able to give you the most powerful, life-changing thing that's ever happened in my entire life is exactly what I'm going to share with you in this presentation. And so that's why I'm just so excited about this, because this is what changed absolutely everything for me when it came to investing in real estate. And again, you could use these types of raising capital strategies for a restaurant business, for a film project, for anything that you want to use the capital for, okay? So what makes this different? Well, first of all, this secret that I'm going to be giving you is for an opportunity where you can actually plug in directly with my investors and my private lenders. For those of you who right now don't have any access to funds, maybe you don't have access to borrow money from friends and family, or maybe you don't even have a retirement fund like I didn't have until even recently. So, maybe you don't have any of that stuff and you don't have interest in applying at a bank, or maybe you've already applied at a bank and you've already gotten rejected. And so what makes this awesome and amazing and different than anything else is that I'm going to show you a way where you can actually plug in to specific lenders, specific investors, and private money sources, or OPM, or other people's money, whatever you want to call it, so that you don't have to ever apply at a bank again. So you never have to hit up friends and family ever again. You never have to access your retirement fund or borrow from your home equity or any of those ridiculous things to get money to start any kind of project. Like I said, it could be a restaurant or a film project or a real estate asset. You can get money for anything with the secrets that I'm about to share with you in this presentation. So give me a yes if you're ready to hear it. Say yes, yes. Nestor, thanks for the yes. I appreciate it. You guys are keeping me all pumped up, and I'm so excited to be here to be able to share this with you, because like I mentioned before, this is the one secret that changed everything for me. And I have to be honest with you guys. Guess what? If I did not know this secret, I would not be able to share this with you. I would not have been able to amass a fortune in real estate if I did not have this one secret. This was the one secret that changed absolutely everything for me. And guess what? It can change everything for you if you want to fully understand exactly what I'm going to share with you. And I'm going to share it with you in this presentation. So I am so excited, because this is the very first time I've actually presented this to my student base. And I'm just so excited and so honored and blessed to be here with you. Okay. So I have the secrets for you, and being able to show you how to gain endless, and by endless, I literally mean endless. Like if you want to raise capital for $100 million project, yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but you could still do it. I've had people, students of mine, Andrew Shaw is one of my most highly regarded success students, and he actually recently raised $30 million for a project that he's doing out here in LA. And he's been able to raise endless amounts of capital. In fact, this is the only reason he also too is successful in real estate, is this one secret that I'm going to share with you, because he got it. He got it early on. And maybe it was my fault, because at the very beginning, I was trying to share everything with all my students because I was so excited about real estate investing and I wanted everybody to understand and learn how it worked. work, but maybe I didn't stress enough the super importance of this one secret. So that's what my goal is in this presentation today, is to share with you exactly what this one secret is, because that's the one secret that changed Andrew Shaw's life. It's the one secret that changed my life, and it's the one secret that can change your life as well. And so what I'm going to share with you is not only how you can access endless amounts of money in even this inventory tight market, how to actually get deals in this inventory tight market, and a secret strategy to bring you from nothing, zero zippo, to $1 million in only 12 months time. So who wants to know more information? Say yes, because let's get rolling with this. We have a lot of slides to go through. I have limited time. So yes, thank you very much for telling me I'm amazing. I love you guys. I love you all. Believe it or not, I absolutely love all my students. That's the only reason, by the way, why I keep doing this and keep teaching and training people, is because I love you guys so much. You know, many of you know I don't have a strong family and friends network because I work so much, but also too, I just never had families. Either you're born into a family or you're not, you know? And over the years, you guys have become my friends and family, and I just feel so blessed to have all of you around me at all times. And that's one of the key reasons as to why I continue to train and I continue to teach and show you the ways of being able to do this, because it's my gift to you for you being able to do the things that you do for me, which is to always be there and be my cheerleaders on the sidelines. And I want to bring you now off the sidelines, and I want to bring you into the game. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about exactly how that's going to work as we go along here. I want to bring you into my game, okay? Because what I'm about to tell you will change the entire trajectory of your financial future if you wanted to, if you want to actually do it, all right? And so over the years, here's what I've been able to do since 1995. In 1985, I bought my first property. It was a HUD house, and I actually bought it with very, very little money down. It was a couple $1,000s I think I scraped together, and I bought it for somewhere around $60,000, and I was able to flip it and make, I think it was around $40,000 on that flip in a short period of time. And so I got hooked on real estate back in 1995, and I've been unstoppable ever since. So since then, I've bought and sold thousands of units over the years, and every type of asset class you can think of, I've been involved in. My strongest suit is multifamily and residential, commercial, or apartment building real estate. But over the years, I've sold single family homes. I've bought and sold retail storefronts. I've bought and sold office industrial centers. I've bought and sold mobile home parks. I still have a lot of mobile home parks. I still have, you know, a ton of multifamily, residential, commercial properties. I still have office buildings, and I have even industrial warehouse spaces. I still have a lot of property, but I've bought and sold a lot over the years as well. And of course, I'm part of a lot of different things with different investor partners too, especially in certain states like Texas and Florida and so forth. And so I am just really excited that I'm actually able for the first time to bring you my exact precise secret and how I've been able to do all that, because it only comes down literally to one secret, folks. And that's it. I mean, like I said, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how to buy and sell property. But if you don't have this one thing, you're just never going to be able to do what I've been able to do, or Andrew Shaw, or Aaron Dunlop, or any of the other students that I have that have been able to access and understand and leverage this one secret that I'm going to share with you. So yes, it does come down to one secret, because I learned this secret, and this is the devastating part of my life, folks, is in 2003, I actually filed for personal bankruptcy. My first husband stole my identity, ran up a bunch of debt, and it wasn't even that much debt. I think it was around $30,000 in debt. And knowing what I know now, and by the way, if you're ever in a situation or position where you think you might have to file for bankruptcy, think again, okay? Because what happens when you file for bankruptcy, folks, is that it stays on your historic credit pull for the rest of your life. So yes, even though it falls off your credit after 10 years, guess what? A bank or lender, especially if you're trying to go in for big money, they will always be able to find that bankruptcy. So that bankruptcy was in 2003. It fell off my credit report in 2013. And I still have banks that still to this day ask me about that bankruptcy, because that never goes away. On a historic credit pull that banks and lenders will do, it will never, ever, ever go away. So if you're thinking about filing for personal bankruptcy, I might think twice about it. Of course, I cannot give you any legal or financial advice, but I would think twice about it to see if there's another way that you can get through it. And in the very least, try to find a way you could pay the debt off or renegotiate with your creditors or something, so you're not going to have that ugly stain on your historic credit report for the rest of your life. All right. But I felt like I had to file, and knowing what I know now, I would definitely have not filed. What I would have done was let all the debt roll off my credit report after 7 years, because at 7 years, it rolls right off, and I would have just started my whole life all over again. But I didn't know, and now I still to this day have to deal with the repercussions, and that's it. You live and learn, and that's how it goes. But this was the key point for me. was in 2003. I was just getting rolling with some heavy duty real estate because in 2001, that's when I discovered the power of multifamily apartment building asset and passive income real estate. And I just barely got into it for about 2 years. And all of a sudden, I'm hit with a bankruptcy and I have to file for bankruptcy and I can't go get a loan anywhere to be able to acquire these properties. And so man, it really put a ding and a dent in my future. And I knew I was screwed for probably at least 5, if not 10 years after I filed. And I literally had to find another way to be able to gain access to funds to be able to stay in the real estate game. So it took me a little while to find it, but I did find it. I'm going to share with you exactly what it is. It's literally the only reason I'm here today to be able to give you this presentation. And it's the only reason I've been able to acquire millions of dollars in commercial assets. It's the only reason why my students, Andrew Shaw, Aaron Dunlop, and another student that some of you have met also too, Stephen Scott, have been successful, widely and hugely successful in this business of real estate acquisitions is because of this one secret that I'm going to share with you. And I've actually made millionaires out of hundreds of students who have not only learned this, but also have used my investors and my private lenders and my money partners that I have for their own deals. And I could potentially do the same for you. Okay, so who wants to know more about this? Say yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I love you guys. So many of you have seen this book. It's been out since 2015. I have another book called Zero Down coming out any second now. And this book actually has been in a #1 bestseller in Amazon in 3 categories. But most importantly, because I can care less about all that stupid stuff, the most important thing for me is that I'm able to actually share the details with my students and exactly how I've been able to be successful. And anybody who uses these strategies can become very, very successful in real estate investing. But then I realized after the book was released, which has been a while since this one came out, but I realized, it all actually comes down to one thing. It comes down to one secret. I mean, I could literally share with you for hours and hours and hours, days even, on exactly how to acquire property, how to locate properties, how to assess properties for cash flow and so forth. But at the end of the day, if you don't have money for your deals, this is the part where most students fail, is that they're unwilling and unable to, I guess, push the envelope on themselves just a little bit to go out there and figure out ways of being able to get investor partners to partner in on their deals. But even worse, and it's not even on my students, but maybe it's more on me, is that they don't even have access to these investor partners. They don't even know where to go for these investors and these private lenders. They have no idea where to get these. And so I've always kept these secret resources, if you will, for some of the top echelon students that I work with, mostly in my apprenticeship group and other groups that I do. But listen, it's because I don't want to burn any bridges with these people. Some of these investors I've been working with for, I want to say, close to 20 years. Some of my best ones I've been working with for 13, 14 years. So I don't want to just send them to any of my students or have my students ring up their phone out of the blue. They don't know anything about real estate investing. So I just don't do that, okay? But I'm going to be changing that because I want to share with you the wealth, if you will. Time's a ticking, times are starting to change in the economy. Things are constantly going to be shifting and changing. But guess what, folks? Nothing will ever affect the real estate business, all right? The real estate business might change and shift, but nothing's going to change the need for people to need a place to live. People always will need a place to live, which is why I've always been addicted to multifamily and residential commercial apartment building investing, because people will always need a place to live no matter what's going on in the economy, all right? I also only invest in small, industrial warehouse spaces, because new startup businesses go in small warehouse spaces, and companies that are downsizing go into small warehouse spaces. Same with office building space. I keep them small because new startup companies go into office building space, but also people that are downsizing go into a smaller office space. So I really do keep a close tabs on exactly which type of cash flowing properties I really invest in. And it's been really successful for me because of the fact that I am very cognizant of what's going on with the economy. And I want to be in markets, and I want to be in asset classes that are always going to be super successful, no matter whether the economy's bad or the economy's good. And I've been very successful in figuring that out. Okay, so that's what I've taught my students over the years with books like this. But at the bottom line is this: at the end of the day, if you do not have money for your deals, you're not going to follow through with any of the offers that you put out there or the deals that you're interested in. If you don't have money, you are dead. You cannot go through in this business. So I've done a lot of things right. I've made a ton of money in this business. And of course, it's been the school of hard knocks. I've been, unfortunately, I had to go through a lot to be able to acquire the assets that I've been able to acquire because I've had to figure all this stuff out by myself. The reason I've had to figure all this out by myself is because nobody's going to take you under their wing and show you how to do this. Listen, the real girls and guys that are doing this business, they're not going to just all of a sudden decide to come out with a book. They're all of a sudden not going to decide to teach you, some random Joe Blow on the street, how to invest in real estate. No, they're too busy investing in real estate. And I told you my big reason as to why I stay in the game of teaching. And that is because you guys have become my friends and family over the years. And that means everything to me. That means absolutely everything to me. And that's why I continue to train and do everything while being in the trenches as a real estate investor. And so the reason I've been able to build my cash flow empire is for one reason and one secret only, and that is using OPM or other people's money. But even going deeper than that, using investor partner capital. Because without it, I would not have been able to borrow money from a bank, especially with my bankruptcy. I don't have friends or family to borrow money from. Back then, I didn't have a retirement, account to borrow from. I didn't want to borrow from my home equity. I didn't want to do any of these things. And so the only way I was able to actually start to build a massive real estate empire is through OPM or other people's money. Of course, I've done a lot of things dead wrong. In the very beginning of my career as a real estate investor back in 1995, I was making a lot of money flipping property. But guess what? I came into some tax issues and tax challenges because of the capital gains taxes. If you're not familiar with how flipping property works, you have to pay something called capital gains taxes, which is what your tax bracket percentage or amount is based on your personal tax filings. And I had to pay a lot of money in taxes because of flipping property. And I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to pay all this money to Uncle Sam. I didn't know anything about a 1031 exchange. I didn't know anything about anything. I had to teach this business to myself from scratch. And all the books that were available back then were useless, not much different than the books that are available now, which are also probably pretty close to equally as useless, because nobody in the real world of real estate investing is actually sitting down writing a book. They just don't care. They don't want competition. They don't want to share with you these techniques, and they're not even writers or trainers or seminar leaders. They just want to do the business themselves, and they're not going to ever teach you the real world of business real estate investing. And so that's what I did wrong in this business, was flipping property, doing a lot of flips, and not investing the money into long-term buy and hold assets like apartment buildings for the passive income every single month. And so that's the mistake that I made. And of course, I learned the hard way, but I met a guy named Dr. Raj who taught me all about apartment building investing. And it was, I met him based on some other type of business venture that I was looking into. And he taught me real estate investing the real way, the way that you're supposed to. And then there was a guy named Vache who came in later on, shortly later in the picture, who taught me about commercial real estate investing is what I call it, with the industrial warehouse space and then the exact type of size that you should get for industrial warehouse. And so I had some really amazing mentors. But again, neither one of these people would ever write a book about real estate investing. And they're certainly not going to be doing seminars or training workshops or anything for anybody. They are just real guys in the real world of real estate investing. And they're not going to train people, but I have an affinity for that. I have a desire for that. I just love training and teaching people. And I believe that that's part of one of my biggest purposes in this world, on this planet, is to help people better their lives in some way. And it's going to be financially. And that's why I'm here for you. So that's what I did wrong in the very beginning, was flipping property and then having to pay out the ass in capital gains taxes. And that's when I realized I had to shift my entire perspective and my entire, I guess you could say, plan, blueprint, if you will, on exactly what I was doing, because what I was doing before was completely wrong. And so after all of these years, I realized that making money is extremely hard if you don't have some kind of system or blueprint in place. Having your typical business sucks. It really sucks. Having passive income real estate investing is awesome. So I have to tell you guys the truth, and that is I've been having a lot of issues since I was dealing with all my embezzlement stuff last year. In fact, I had an argument because many of you know that I came out with the book, The Lost Secret, and I have an agent who was telling me, you can't tell people that you went through these things with embezzlement with your staff last year. You can't tell anybody that, because people have to know that you are an expert in the world of finances, and you can't tell people in your blog or in your emails that you actually had an embezzlement situation. Well, guess what? I'm a real person. I'm going to tell you the truth. I shoot from the hip. I'm not going to bullshit anybody. And that's all there is to it. I'm not going to lie to anyone. And yes, even the best of the best can sometimes fall. Even the best of the best can sometimes miss details. And even the best of the best actually make mistakes and errors. Even if you do think you are a financial expert, none of us really are experts in anything. There's always room for growth and room for learning. Don't you agree? We could always learn from people on different things. And so I trusted someone who I knew for over 10 years, and I trusted her to handle my payroll. And she started robbing me through my payroll. And because I was traveling so much for business, especially with this book and everything else that was doing with the trainings and the workshops and everything else for you guys, that I turned my back on someone who I thought I trusted to do my payroll, and she started paying herself all these excess bonuses and commissions and all these things that she was not due. And I didn't look at it because I trusted her. Okay. Now, I have to tell you, I would look a lot closer now. I certainly would never have anybody run my payroll again. Just like I always sign my own checks. That's something Donald Trump even talks about, is how he signs his own checks. I agree with him. Sign your own checks. You know, you don't have somebody sign your checks for you. And so she embezzled from me, and that happens. So yeah, I'm a financial expert. So I have a real estate fortune. But things do happen. But guess what? I have to be honest with you guys. Over the last couple months, I was thinking about shutting my operation down because I'm like, I don't know if I could ever trust anybody again in my operation. And I'm keeping it at a skeleton crew right now. But I'm now starting the process of bringing new people in because I got to the point where I love you guys so much. I want to continue servicing you. But I have to tell you, having a real business sucks. Okay. Having employees sucks. Having an overhead of any kind sucks. It just sucks. And that's the part of the business I don't like. But I just thought about it the other day. I'm like, I have this real estate income that's massive, but I decided to not use the real estate income to keep the business part afloat because I was for a while, because she stole so much money from me. I was wondering whether or not I was going to have the business to sustain itself. I didn't know if the business was going to be able to sustain itself because there was such a massive indebtedness that was incurred because of the embezzlement. And so guess what? I actually thought about closing the doors because I'll be damned if I'm going to use my real estate income to keep another dying asset afloat. But I realized if I did not have this passive income from my real estate, yeah, it would be pretty screwed because of this embezzlement thing that occurred and took place. So I have to tell you though, if there's a way that you can get around getting a typical business going, then by all means do it, because having a typical business really is it's a stress. It's a pain in the ass, don't you think? Just having employees, having an overhead, having insurance, and then when you're dealing with the state of California, that's 100 times worse than any other state in the country. So if there's a way that you can, work around your need and desire to have a business, a regular, typical business with all that stuff, then by all means do it. There's only a couple options that I know of, and passive income real estate is one of them. Okay. And I realize it's because of the passive income real estate that I have the ultimate freedom. I can actually travel where I want. Yesterday, I took my daughter to Disneyland. I could do these types of things all the time and not worry about a single thing because I have so much income coming in from passive income real estate. And so right now, over 1,000 units I currently own, which also include partnerships that I have, having a monthly cash flow from my buy and hold assets and my buy and hold real estate, it's literally the only business that I know of out there where you can take a break and not do something for 2 or 3 months. I mean, if you don't want to work for 2 or 3 months, what other business do you have out there that's going to allow you that kind of leverage and that kind of freedom? There really isn't any, right? There's nothing out there that can allow you to say, you know what, I really am burnt out. I don't want to do anything for the next 2 to 3 months. Let me not do anything for well, how is that going to be? I mean, there's always something you're going to have to do with other businesses and other types of assets. But with passive income buy and hold real estate, I mean, this is literally the only business that can give you the type of financial freedom that you're looking for. So I discovered the hard way through the School of Hard Knocks. If anybody's ever heard of that, ever heard of the School of Hard Knocks? Guess what? I had to learn my own plan. I've never devised or, strategized or copied anybody else's blueprint for real estate because there is no other blueprint for real estate investing that I've ever found that's adequate enough to be able to give you exactly what you need to be able to understand how to make tons of money in this business. So I've actually devised and created my own blueprint, my own business plan, if you will, that I've used over and over again. And I've never really gone much further from the original blueprint that I created many years ago, ever since I discovered the power of multifamily residential commercial real estate investing, right? So who wants to know a little bit more about that? Say yes. Yes. Who wants to know how you can become truly financially free, not only with multifamily residential commercial and other commercial assets that are buy and hold, but also too, you want to know the secret on gaining access to endless amounts of other people's money, or OPM as we call it. Who wants to know? Say yes. Yes, yes. All right. Now, I have to say, many people in this business of real estate, though, guess what? They think that the secret in doing the business and becoming wealthy in real estate is the how part, right? They think, oh, well, I need to know all these techniques, and I need to know exactly how to analyze a property cash flow, or where to find property, or, how to negotiate a deal, or how to manage a property. Well, that's all very, very important stuff, folks. But guess what? I have students that have been with me a long time, and they miss this one component, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. And so they know enough about this business. I mean, I have students that actually could teach my seminars for me if I want to. They know that much about real estate investing. They know how to find the deals. They know how to analyze the deals. They know which parts of the country to find deals. They know how to set up a management team. They know everything, but they never freaking invest in a single piece of property, right? I know some of you are actually listening to this, and I know some of you personally that are you're offenders of this, right? Where you know everything there's to know about my methodology in real estate investing, but you never freaking do it. There's one reason as to why you don't do it. It's because it's not in what you know in assessing properties. Of course, like I said, all that's very important. It's important to understand how to find the cash flow. It's important to find which part of the country you want to invest in. It's important to know which asset class you want to invest in. It's important to set up a management plan. But guess what? If you don't have this one thing in place, folks, you will never, ever, 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 ever close escrow on your first deal. So you can know everything you ever want to know about real estate investing. But guess what? If you don't know how to find the who, and the who and who's going to give you all the money to be able to put into these deals, you will never invest in a single piece of property. Like I said, I know some of you that are listening to this and watching this right now who are offenders, and maybe it's because you just are so focused on the what and the how, but you don't focus on the who, and you're wondering, you're banging your head up against the wall wondering, why can I never close escrow on my first deal? Why? Well, guess what, folks? It's this reason, this one single reason. Don't you agree? You need money for your deals, right? Without this money, without this capital, without down payment money, earnest money deposits, due diligence money like appraisals and property inspections and, environmental reports and all these things that you need to be able to close escrow, if you don't have the money, if you don't have somebody bankrolling your project and your real estate or your sports bar or whatever you're trying to invest in, guess what? You're just a dreamer then. You're not going to ever be able to close escrow on any of these deals. And so it doesn't matter how much you know about real estate investing. Doesn't matter if you know the very best place in the country to invest. It doesn't matter if you know how to assess a property financially. It doesn't matter if you know how to manage a property. If you never get a property, who cares, right? Who cares what you know? I'd rather deal with someone who understands this part of it and doesn't understand very well about the other part, because you're going to go a lot further if you understand how to get the money for the deals, rather than the person who knows everything about actually assessing a property and managing a property. Because guess what? If you don't get the who right, there's not going to be any property for you to manage. There's not going to be any property for you to assess. There's not going to be any properties for you to put in offers in, because if you don't have the money for it, you're never going to close escrow. And again, this goes for everything. It goes for the restaurant project or the film project or anything that you're trying to raise capital for. You can know everything about all those businesses all day long, but guess what? If you don't have the money for it, if you can't bankroll the project, you don't have a project, you don't have a business, you don't have a real estate investment. You have nothing, okay? Don't you agree? It's money talks, like Bob says. Money talks, bullshit walks, right? You have to have the money to be able to do these deals. You don't have the money, you're not going to be able to do a deal. All right. So let's be clear, everybody. It's all about the who. Who's going to bankroll your project? If you don't have a who in place, if you don't have anybody to connect with, if you don't know how to connect with these people, then don't even bother learning anything about assessing deals, about finding deals in specific parts of the country, about starting a certain business, about doing a film project, whatever you're trying to find money for. Don't even bother or waste your time trying to learn anything about it if you're not willing to find and plug in and access these people with the money for your project, because it's all a waste of time. You're going to be reading all these books on management. You're going to be reading all these books on assessing properties and trying to get your business empire or real estate empire started. But if you don't plug into the who, if you don't plug into the players that have money to be able to bankroll this project or these projects for you, then you're done. You don't have a business. All right. All right, so I learned this the hard way when I filed for bankruptcy back in 2003. And so even though that was a devastating period for me, it opened me up to my whole world of other people's money. So I could have been like everybody else, right? I could have been, oh, poor me. My whole career in real estate investing's over. Let's just do something else with my life now. Let's just forget about it. But you know what? I'm one of those people that tries to think outside of the box. And so after I was done crying in a corner and sucking my thumb, I decided, you know what? Let me put my big girl panties on. Let me figure this out. All right. Because other people are figuring it out. Why can't I figure it out? What I was able to discover out there just stunned me. I realized all these years, I thought all these multimillionaires and billionaires, people like Donald Trump, for example, people like other people that are involved heavily in real estate, I thought these people actually use their own money to be able to, do deals. That's what I thought. I'm like, well, you got a billionaire like Trump. He could pay for his own properties, right? No, he doesn't ever put any money into his own properties, right? He borrows money from the network of people that he's been using for other people's money for decades now. They all do the same thing. Now you're probably asking, well, if he has all this money, or any of these people have all this money, why are they not putting their own money into these deals? And the answer is because it's for maximum leverage. They don't want to risk their own capital. So for example, if you have $30 million that's parked in a bank account, why would you ever risk your own money and risk your own assets when you could borrow somebody else's money and pay it back over time, or if you have an equity stake or whatever arrangements that you have, and then you still have your $30 million in your bank account? Don't you think that's the better way to leverage your cash and your assets and your financial freedom, is to not risk your own capital? And so that's what I figured it out. I figured out, you know what, all these other millionaires and billionaires, none of them are using their own money. They're using other people's money. Private lenders, private investors are not using, and then they're letting their own money sit in their bank account so that they, if anything happens in the economy, where the economy turns, they're not screwed. The reason I was able to actually not only determine how I can access these people, I discovered it by accident. But when I discovered that these people are not using their own money, it was after 2008, when everything collapsed in 2008. That's when I realized that all these other millionaires and billionaires are not, they're not using their own money. And I found it out by accident. So one of my cohorts, if you will, one of my associates who was heavily invested in retail storefronts, big box stores, like, I don't know if you remember, back then in Circuit City, he had Circuit City and Levitt's Furniture in his retail strip mall of his. And I'm like, aren't you worried? Because Levitt's just went belly up, and all these other people were going belly up. I'm like, aren't you worried about losing your asset? He's like, well, if I lose my asset, yes, the property will go back to the bank, but every single cent that's in this property is other people's money. So that's when it hit me. I'm like, wow, he's not even worried because he was able to use his own capital. It's still sitting in a bank account somewhere. And the money that's about to be lost in the property that the bank was about to take back, guess what? That's other people's money. And he wasn't even worried about it. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's kind of a shitty way to look at it. But, when the economy was a disaster back in late 2008 and 2009 and 2010, we all remember that, right? But a lot of them just simply were not worried because they didn't take their millions of dollars out of their bank account to put as down payments and to be able to get the properties that way. They use other people's money for the down payments, for every other aspect of the property. But this is when I learned in the real world, this is how this whole thing works, okay? Because I have to tell you, if you don't have cash for your deals, you're doing it the impossible way. Trying to borrow from friends and family, that's a sucky way to get money, right? If you don't want any friends and family, then keep hitting them up for money. Then they'll disperse real quick. Taking money out of your retirement account or your savings or your home equity, that's another sucky way, don't you think? Trying to use your own personal, credit cards or signature loans or any other types of capital that you might have access to. Filling out bank applications for deals just to get denied or rejected. And then eventually what happens is, you're just like, guess what? I guess I just can't make this business work. I guess maybe this type of real estate investing is only for people that really have a lot of money. And that just I don't have that. So I guess I can't do this. And I'm just going to have to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I mean, how many of you have actually thought about that or said, maybe this business is not for me because of this reason? Well, guess what? This business is for you. The problem is you have not figured out how to access the capital yet to be able to invest in these types of projects that can give you maximum financial freedom. All right. Now, did you know that more than 80% of applicant qualified loan applications get rejected? That's right. This is the way that most people who are new to this business or are green, they will actually go out and try to get a bank loan. And then they get rejected or denied. Well, why is this? Why do people get rejected and denied? It's like, well, because banks, they want to work with people who have a huge portfolio of properties. They want to work with someone who has a management resume, they call it. They want to work with people who have experience as real estate investors. So if you're starting off with your first property, it might even be a small property, maybe an 8 unit, maybe a 12 unit, maybe something like that. Well, they still want to know what you've done and what kind of experience base you have. And if you don't have it, then they're going to likely reject you. And so I have to tell you, there's an easier way. How many of you want to know a way to make money in real estate without ever using any of your own hard-earned cash, without begging from friends and family or a bank to lend you money? How many of you actually want to know how this works? I mean, give me a yes. Tell me that you want to know, because let me tell you, like I said, I see people that are in this group listening to me right now, and I know that a lot of you that are listening to me know everything that I know about real estate investing. You know how to find deals, you know how to assess deals, you know how to, locate different deals in different parts of the country, you know how to set up a management team. But guess what? You're still not pulling the trigger, and it's because of the money part, right? Because you don't have the money for it, right? Don't you agree that you need the money to do these deals? Because there's no other way that you're ever going to invest in real estate if you don't have the money for a down payment, if you don't have the earnest money cash, which is 3% of the offer price, if you don't have due diligence money like appraisals and environmental reports and property inspections and closing costs, if you don't have money for any of that, you don't have a business, okay? So I have to tell you, remember, 2 out of every 10 applications for a bank or a traditional lender or whatever you want to call it, they are actually rejected. They don't get approved at all. They're denied. And as a new investor, you have, unfortunately, you have less of a chance because you don't have a management resume. You don't have any portfolio of properties for the bank to look at. And so you have even a less of a chance to get approved on anything. Now, the one thing that you need as a real estate investor to go from $0 to millionaire in anywhere from 12 to 36 months is that you have to have cash for your deals, period. Okay. There's nothing else you need. I mean, I'm telling you right now, as a real estate investor for over 20 years, you need money for your deals. It doesn't matter what else you know, what else you think you know. If you don't have money for your deals, you don't have a business. You don't have a chance in hell to be able to invest in real estate. Without the money, you're dead in the water. That's a pretty gross picture, isn't it? I tried to find something really disgusting and I guess I succeeded, but yes, you are dead. This is you as a real estate investor without money for your deals. You're dead. All right. So I want to share with you 3 powerful secrets. All right. So these are the secrets. Secret number 1, you have to know which types of deals private lenders and private investors want to invest in now, but even more importantly, what they don't want to invest in. So I'm going to share with you some details on how each of these secrets are going to roll out, including how to get free grant money from different local and federal grant programs. Yes, you can actually get grant money for some of your property deals, whether it's a down payment, whether it's an entire acquisitions cost, whether it's a rehab cost or even new construction. You can get government grant programs. There are a lot of new programs out there, and there's also old programs that a lot of people just simply do not know about, and you have to know exactly how to access these grant programs. And finally, secret number 3, how to tap into what I call special OPM or other people's money to get immediate cash for deals without giving up an equity stake in your property. So many of you might not want to give up 50 or 75% of your equity stake in your cash flow in a property deal, and that's cool. But there is a way to get what we call special OPM or special other people's money, where they will give you a special, what we call a private loan that's not even recorded anywhere, and they have different terms on it to where you don't actually have to give up an equity stake in your property. So who wants to know all these secrets? Give me a yes. Hoo-ha, yes, yes, I want to see it. I want to hear it, because listen, I have to tell you, I have not been so excited about sharing this with you. And I told myself, listen, Monica, the only way that you're ever going to get people to become super successful real estate investors and the larger droves is to be able to share these secrets with you. So listen, that's why I decided to share this with you, because it doesn't matter. I could teach you all day long how to find properties, how to invest, how to do management, all that stuff. But if you don't get this part right, there is no business. You have no business. You don't have any real estate investments if you don't get this part right. Don't you agree? This is the most important part, getting the money for your deals. Say yes, it is right. So secret number one, you have to know which types of deals private lenders and private investors want to invest in now. So what types of stuff are they looking for? They want cash flowing properties. Obviously, they want cash flowing deals, especially since this market is so inventory tight. They want multifamilies. They want mobile home parks, but they're just not looking for any type of mobile home park or any type of apartment building or any type of commercial asset or any kind of business. They are looking for bigger stuff. Okay. So if you think that the solution is to go small, think again. All right. So I know that a lot of new investors in this business who don't have capital to invest, they're thinking, well, let me go small, like a 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 unit property, for example, because I'll probably have a better chance of getting a bank loan, right? How many of you have thought of this? Well, guess what? That's the wrong way to go when you're dealing with private lenders and private investors. They want you to go bigger. Now, we're not talking 3, 4, 500 units, although some of my private investors, I want a 3, 4, 500 unit, but you have to go bigger than 8 units. You have to go bigger in some cases than 50 units or 80 units. You have to go bigger. Go big or go home. These people are not playing. They want to deal with a property deal that actually is making money, especially if they're going to get an equity stake in it. They don't want to be wasting their time with a freaking 8 unit. What a waste of time for them. These people are multimillionaires and some of them are billionaires. Think of it in terms of this. If you were a billionaire and somebody came to you with an 8 unit apartment building to give you 50% equity, and would you be interested in a deal like that? Say yes or no. I mean, I can guarantee you, if you are really seriously doing this properly with your visualization techniques and you're really thinking in terms of whether or not you're a real billionaire, are you going to freaking waste time on an 8 unit? No matter how good it might look to the person bringing it to you, guess what? An 8 unit's a freaking waste of time, okay? They want bigger, okay? So like I said, go big or freaking go home, all right? So that's the biggest mistake that a lot of newbies make, where they're just trying to think small and, well, I'll have a better chance in getting a bank loan if I'm only presenting a 6 unit apartment building. Well, yeah, that's great for maybe a bank. And remember, you have an 80% chance that you'll be rejected, and even higher if you're brand new, if you don't have a management resume or a property portfolio to show the bank. But anyway, you're thinking small because you're thinking that I know why you're thinking small. I was there. I know exactly how this whole game works. But guess what? Private lenders, private investors, like I said, they're not wasting time with the little piddly crap on the bottom, the basement bottom stuff. They want to go big. If they're going to make money, they're going to make money in a big way. Otherwise, it's a big, big, big waste of time, all right? So you have to know what they're looking for, what they want, what they don't want, all right? There's certain types of properties that business ventures that investors want now, and there's some that they don't want. Like for example, a lot of my real estate investors, they want the larger properties. They want decent cash flows, but they want something called mixed use, which I'm going to get into in just a couple of seconds, okay? They also want business ventures, but they want things obviously that are legal. They don't want any service businesses. But a lot of them are just really not interested in the marijuana business or the cannabis business because they don't really know what the future is for that. But they also see how badly the market's being flooded with those type of businesses. So they're really not interested. I deal with a lot of old timers that are my private investors and private lenders, and they're not really interested in the whole marijuana scene. So that's one of the big things that they're not interested in. But they love sports bars. They love restaurants with a lot of alcohol. I've even had one investor invest in a kind of like it was a topless bar. This was years ago. It's legal, and he invested in it, because it was a piece of property that was attached to it. So that's the other thing that I want to bring you to, is what they really want, okay? So if you want to hit this out of the ballpark, it's ideal if you can blend both together. If you can blend both real estate and some kind of profitable cash flowing business together, you definitely have something like a home run, all right? Now I'm going to describe to you a little bit about exactly what they're looking for, okay? So For example, I had a mixed-use retail storefront. It made me and my investor partner over $2 million in 2 years. And guess what it was, folks? It was a building in Detroit. It was acquired for $1.6 million. We rehabbed it for $1.2 million. It was all private money. I didn't put a cent into the deal. I just brought this deal to my guys and they did it. And we put a restaurant on the ground floor, which gave this building $120,000 per month in cash flow, right? That's it. And we sold it for $5.3 million. Now, I would not have sold the property, but that was part of our arrangement from the very beginning. So guess what, folks? Now is not the time for you to start getting attached to properties or thinking that you're going to be able to buy and hold some of these deals for 30 plus years. It's not going to happen. A lot of these investors want to get in, they want to be in the deal for a while, and they want to get out. Okay, so you need to respect what they want. You can't just be inventing your own rules. These are the people that are writing the checks. So if they say that they want out, you let them out, okay? And so this was the deal that I had. It was a 24-month deal, and this is the deal that we did. And I was sad to let it go. I'm not going to lie, but that was our arrangement, and I was happy with it. It was fine. And you could do these types of deals yourself, but these are what we call blended deals, or they're mixed use deals, where we have an apartment building or an office building with a business that's in it. Of course, the business is a different entity. It's a different LLC or a different corporation altogether. But again, they're getting both the businesses. They're getting the business of the real estate and they're getting the business of whatever business ventures in there. And that's why they love these types of deals, because they'll fund these all day long because it's extra income for them. I mean, seriously, the building itself was not even worth $120,000 from all the tenants that were in there, but it certainly was from the restaurant bar that we had downstairs. And that's why they were mostly interested in giving us the funding for the deal. And it was a hit. It was a home run. And so this is also too, my guy, Andrew Shaw, he's my most successful student when it comes to commercial buildings. And what he does is he solely repurposes commercial buildings. Let me describe to you what I mean, okay? So one of his buildings, he was able to take it, and what he does is he turns them into either virtual offices or specialty offices, all right? So this is one of the buildings that he was working on recently, and that's all he does is he takes office buildings, are usually anywhere from 3 to 5 stories high, and he'll basically refurbish or repurpose those buildings into something else. So he takes them from an office building and he'll make them a shared therapy space, or he'll make them some kind of virtual office or something where he can make a lot of money. So it's actually a business. It's not just a real estate transaction. It's a business. So there's actually 2 businesses in here. The first business is the actual business of the real estate investment. The second business is the actual business of whatever business you're putting in there, right? And so he's made a freaking fortune, and he gets 100% OPM or other people's money from his deals, right? Right now, he's got a cash flow of over $200,000 per month using 100% of investor partner funds and private funds. I have to tell you, Andrew, he did not have a good run in the very beginning. When I first met him, it was long after 2009. I didn't even know he was on my radar, but he said he came into my radar in 2009. He did sign up for one of my first 2 apartment building cash flow mentorship groups back in the spring of 2009. I don't remember if it was the first or the second one. He didn't really do anything with it until 2010, when he actually lost his, he went through a divorce and then he lost his house. And he was actually living in his car for a while. He actually had to take a job as a grocery bagger when he lost his job. And he realized his back was up against the wall. And so he said, since starting with Monica back in 2009, my entire life changed. I would never have known how to use private investors and funds had she not shown me how. Without using this kind of money, I would have never gotten my multi-million-dollar real estate business off the ground. Having access to money or not will make or break whether you succeed in this or any other business. And that's true. That's 100% true. So like I said, if you think this business is a matter of you study a day and night until you want to throw up on all the different types of strategies you could use to get a building, guess what? You're wasting your time, because at the end of the day, if you do not start connecting with private investors and private lenders, then you don't have a business. Okay. So you could study and learn and no. But guess what? Without money, if you don't have somebody standing next to you that could write a check for several $1,000,000, you have no real estate business. All right. Don't you think that that's the key to all of this? Because that's what I realized. This is one of my most successful students, making over $200,000 per month. And he started from nothing. Absolutely nothing. And all he does is get private investor funds and private money. That's all he does. So access to other people's money. A lot of people of you think, oh, this must be really hard. This is going to be really difficult for me to do. It's not difficult. If you understand how to do it and the dynamics of it, you can get money quite easily. Because guess what? If you think about it in terms of being an investor partner, just close your eyes and pretend like you're a billionaire. And if somebody came up to you and said, listen, I have a way that you can make 100,000+ a month in cash flow, and you're completely hands off on this project, I'll do everything for you. Would you be interested as a billionaire? Yes, you would. Hell yeah, you would. Those deals, and let me tell you, I've been working with billionaires and multimillionaires for the last, I guess, at least the last solid 14 years. That's when I met my billionaire from Texas. But I've been working with these guys a long time. And if you think that they're satisfied with the amount of money they have, think again. The reason that they're multimillionaires and billionaires is because they keep going at it. They keep going for more. They cannot get enough. They're insatiable, right? So if you could drop any deal in their lap that can get them on their piece and their cut 100,000 or more a month, they're writing checks for that. Okay. Especially if it's 100% hands off. You do all the work. That's the key. You have to tell them that you're proficient enough and you're willing to do the work. Okay. Listen, I had a couple of different deals from different students come through that were super kick-ass deals. And at the end of the day, my investor partners were not willing to fund the deals because these students were not close enough to the buildings. They weren't close enough to the assets. They weren't even willing to move near the asset, okay? So they were willing to bankroll the entire freaking projects. And the students are at the end of the day like, yeah, well, I don't really want to move that close to the deal, or I just want a management company to handle it. Well, listen, the same investor could set up the same business himself because he's got the money for it. What does he need you for then? If you're just bringing a deal to him, do you think that that's deserving of 50% or 25% of the deal? No, it's not fair. It's not even fair for the billionaire or the multimillionaire. You're bringing nothing to the table if you're not setting up the business for him or the property for him. You have to offer what we call sweat equity. You have to be able to put something in the deal to be able to earn your keep, right? So why would anybody think that they can bring a deal to a billionaire or multimillionaire and just tell them that they'll just put in a management service and then they're just going to collect the 25 or 50% of the cash flow or the gained equity? Please, that's just not even fair. It's not even fair on any level whatsoever. Yet I have students do that all the time, and they screw up these key networking opportunities and these key relationships with these millionaires and multi-billionaires because they're so greedy and they're so lazy. You can't be greedy and you can't be lazy, because let me tell you, once you start plugging into these people, you have endless amounts of money at your fingertips. All right. So secret number 2, getting free money, including local and federal grant programs. Yes, there's local and federal grant programs available for all kinds of properties. This building was built with $300,000 in grant funds, 100% grant funds for this property. And there are millions more that actually get state and federal grants for property. All kinds of different types of grant programs are available, from acquiring a property, down payments for a property, rehabbing a property, renovating a property, even new construction. There's all kinds of different grant programs available, but the only way that you're going to tap into these is how? To know how. That's right. So you absolutely must know how to be able to tap into these grant resources, and I can show you how to do it because there's state and federal real estate grants for both commercial and residential properties, for acquisitions, for rehab, for new constructions, you name it, you can actually get property money. All right. It's there if you know how to tap into it. This is my guy, Tom Leutner. I met him back in 2010. He's a student of mine, and he successfully uses grants for his properties in Connecticut. And so he has a ton of multifamily properties down in that way. And I have to tell you that I'm so proud of him because he knows how to tap into the power of grants for his properties, and you can too. It's just a matter of you understanding how to do it, and I can show you how to do it just like Tom does, okay? Because after all, imagine getting some of these properties and rehab costs for free without actually having to have an investor partner. If you can't find one or don't want to find one or whatever the reason may be, you also have grants as a probability. Because listen, if you're not paying any money for these deals or paying very minimal money and don't have the burden of debt, mortgages, and loans on the property, you can get very, very wealthy if you understand the power of using grant money. And again, it's both local and federal grant programs that are available in a variety of different ways for property deals, okay? Secret number 3, is tapping into what I call special OPM to get immediate cash for your deals without giving up an equity stake in your property. So what is special OPM exactly? Well, these are private loans. They don't require any credit checks. They're very low interest and they're very easy terms. They don't actually show up anywhere. So they're not going to show up on your credit report. They're not going to show up on the property as a lien in many cases. Some cases they do, but many cases they do not because it's a private special loan, okay? And so there's no equity stake. You're not giving these people any equity stake in the deal. It's just a loan just like any other, except that there's no credit checks, no interest, and very easy terms on it. So that's about it because they're not expecting you to have a management resume, have a portfolio of properties everywhere. They just want to know what's the deal and how much money do you need for it. So that's obviously an option for you as well if you understand how to plug in and tap into that secret, all right? Because remember, 80% of loan applications by credit qualified individuals to a regular bank or traditional lender are rejected, and it's even higher if you don't have any experience to show from your management resume. They're going to want to see your portfolio. They're going to want to see your management experience. If you don't have it, then there's even a higher percentage that you're actually going to get rejected no matter how high your credit is. And of course, the alternative for most people is to use hard money. This is one of the biggest things. It's the biggest go-to for many new students that want to become part of the real estate world of passive income real estate is that they first go to hard money. Hard money, just about anybody who could sign their name on a piece of paper can get hard money, but guess what? You are so laden down and burdened with debt that 9 times out of 10, you cannot actually get a cash flow, all right? So here's an example. This 14-unit apartment building offered for $1 million in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you actually did the cash flow on this property with hard money, trying to cover 100% of the LTV, you're actually at a loss every single month of $392 or annually just under $5,000. And that's after you cut 10% off the asking price. So instead of giving them $1 million, you're offering them $900,000. You're still losing money every single month trying to go the hard money route, okay? However, if you're going to go the alternative route, if you're using private funds or an investor partner for this deal, you'd have still a healthy cash flow without putting any money into this deal. That's the big difference between switching from hard money to a private investor or private funds. And you'd even have a higher cash flow if you use some of this, be grant money, federal or local grant money, to be able to fund some or part of this proposition or this property deal. So this is the big difference, the big game changer in knowing who to go to if you want to get a property deal done. So here's the deal. With private lenders, it's best for your smaller deals. So if you want a smaller deal, say you do want that 8-unit apartment building or that 12-unit apartment building, private lenders are your best bet because some will give you cash of up to 100% of the LTV. Some will even give you money down payment cash. Some of you will actually give you rehab and new construction cash, and it's all rolled into different loans. So this is the difference between private lenders and, of course, investor partners. They want big deals, folks. They want the 100, 200 plus unit apartment building or the mobile home park. They don't want to waste their time on 8 units and 12 units and 24 units, but they will handle 100% of the EMD, which is the earnest money deposit, the down payment cash, the due diligence, the rehab, etc. They'll handle all of it. They will use their own credit, usually their company credit, their management portfolio, and their management resume to be able to get the loan for the property. So you don't have to worry about all that stuff. Okay. And this is how you get your feet wet. Of course, you're going to be given a bigger percentage up. Like because for example, if you want the deal to be 100% your own, then go for an 8 to 12 or 30 something unit for yourself and get a private lender, right? But if you want to share and get the experience and get a bigger percentage every single month coming in from the cash flow and a bigger gained equity at the end of the day, then you'll want to go for your big deals with your investor partner. So there's a couple of different ways you could do this, or you could do it both ways, right? And so I'm about to show you how you could access both private lenders and investor partners plus specialty OPM, which again is for those that don't want to give up an equity stake in their property. So here's my guy, Steven Scott. And for those of you that remember him, he actually spoke at only one of my events. He flew out to LA. And this is, I think, back in 2015 or somewhere in there. And he came out to speak to a small group of my students out here. But this is the only reason why he was able to actually go from living in a hotel room to buying millions of dollars in real estate in less than 2 years, is because of OPM or other people's money, right? That is the trick in getting endless amounts of money for your deals, is to actually tap into private investors and private lenders. So understanding only 3 steps to this, which is you need to identify your cash requirements, right? You can't just say, I need money for this deal. Well, how much do you need, right? How much do you need for the deal, and what are you going to use the money for? This is the biggest issue with a lot of my new students that are trying to access private lending funds or private money from investor partners, is that they think that they need to use 100%. So for example, they're buying that $1 million apartment building that I showed you on the other screen, and they think the guy is going to be writing them a check for $1 million. Well, no, that's not how it works. You have to understand the LTVs. Do you need an 80% LTV? Do you need a 60% LTV? How much down payment do you need? How much earnest money deposit do you need? How much, due diligence costs do you need, including appraisals, including building inspections? Do you need an environmental report? What are the closing costs? You need to know exactly how much money, because you just can't expect them to write a check for 100% LTV if it's a performing property. That's not how the business of real estate investing works. So you have to understand that whole part of it. You also have to determine the best OPM course of action based on the type of business deal or the type of investment it is, right? So is it better to have an investor partner who's going to take an equity share? Is it better to have a private lender? Is this a type of property you can have some or all of it being grant funded? You have to understand, based on the type of asset or the type of business or the type of property, what the best course of action would be. And finally, once you understand those first 2 things, you just go get the money based on the blueprint that I just outlined. So it's like a treasure map. Once you identify the property or the business, and then identify how much you need and exactly what the money is going to be used for, and you determine exactly what the OPM or other people's money course of action is going to be, then you go get the money. It's as simple as that, because you'll know exactly who to go to. It's literally like a treasure map, okay? So does anybody want to know how to just get the money? Who wants to know? Give me a yes. How do you just get the money? Does anybody want to know how that works? How do you just get the money? Do you just, dial up a phone and you ask somebody? Do you write somebody a letter? What do you do? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. So with my private lenders, a lot of them will have a very simple application. Many of the applications are completely done online. It's like I said, this is not something that goes on your credit report. This is not something that's actually a lien on the property. It's just, they just look at the property, they look at the numbers, and so you have to give them the numbers. You have to give them all that information. Private specialty OPM, same thing, where they're basically just wanting to know if the property is going to cash flow enough for them to get their loan money back. That's it. But you have to know exactly who these people are, and I have access to both of those types of people. My private investors, it's a little bit more detailed. They don't actually just want an application filled out. In fact, they won't even accept an application, all right? They actually want to get a business plan from you. You have to actually have a business plan, especially if you want somebody to invest in a 200-unit apartment building. You better have some kind of business plan, and you better be willing to be very close to that property. I've had students offer to live on the property, and they've gotten the deal because they were willing to actually live on the property. Some of the investors will take them up on that. Some of them will say, you don't have to live there, but you have to live close by, right? It just depends on the investor that you're working with. But they want to know that you're going to be close by. You're going to be offering sweat equity in the form of management and getting rehab on course and everything else that's required there. Of course, they're not going to expect you out there with a hard hat and a hammer, but they want you to oversee the whole process as if you're a general contractor. And if you don't know anything about general contracting, don't worry about it, because it's a relatively easy process. But that's what they want to see. Angel investors, they want to see kind of a hybrid of both. Some of them will actually want an application. Other ones, mostly for the most part, want to see some kind of business plan. Same with crowdfunding. They want to see some kind of business plan. State and federal grants, it depends on whether it's a state grant or a federal grant. Federal grants will have a specific application to fill out, and they're going to want to know exactly what the money is going to be used for, and depending on how much money is actually being asked for will determine whether they want to know have a full business plan or a partial business plan. And then state funding, it just depends on the state grants. Specifically, grants for on the state level are usually for a variety of different things. And so based on what it is for, like for example, if it's for a rehab type of thing, they're going to want to know exactly what you plan on rehabbing. They want to make sure that you're going to be compliant with all of the state building codes, especially when it comes to ADA and all that other stuff. So they want to know exactly what the money is going to be used for, and how you're going to be compliant in all of the state and federal mandated laws, rules, and regulations. And so that's usually what the state level is going to want to see. And both of them are going to be applications. Private investors, I have to tell you, there is only a secret way of being able to gain access to these people. And there's only a specific type of way that you can gain access to these people. Specialty OPM, there's a handful out there. You, again, have to know exactly who they are. I know all of them and how much they can actually give to you. They don't want an equity stake. They just want a loan, and it's not a hard money loan. It's not going to be a high interest. It's not going to be a ridiculous sum of money that you're paying out like to a hard money lender. But I like to see private investors. I like to see people that you can actually have come in that might want to take some equity share, to where they're not actually going to be giving you, there's not a loan amount that you got to pay every single month, because that could really dip into your cash flow. So if there's a way that you can find properties, and I'll show you exactly how to do that, because it's a fairly easy way, because remember, you want to go big or go home with your private investors, then they will fund the whole deal, and you don't have to worry about paying back loans. You don't have to worry about trying to, figure out how you can afford a second or a third on the property. They will handle the whole thing, and that's the easiest way, in my opinion, of getting access to other people's money. Because remember, without cash, you're dead. There's no real estate business if you don't have cash to bankroll it. There's no sports bar if you don't have cash to bankroll it. There's no, detail, service center that you want to build with a car wash if you don't have access to cash. There's no film project that you want to do if there's no access to. If you don't have access to cash, folks, you can't build a profitable business, no matter what it is, on a large scale. Yes, you could always build small businesses and let them grow over time, like I've been able to do, but that's kind of the harder way. I'd rather see you, if you're going to get involved in the real estate business, I want to see you go big or go home. I want you to actually bring to the table that 200 or 300 unit apartment building, and I want you to work with my investor partner so that you can jump into the game, feet first, and just get in it and start making money in it, rather than trying to pussyfoot around and getting little tiny buildings and trying to do all this other stuff. That's the hard way. The easy way is to latch into an investor partner who can bankroll a larger property. That's the way to do it. Okay, so to access unlimited cash for your deals or business, you need a streamlined system. All right, so what if I could take all the guesswork out of you having to figure out how to find these people, how to present the right deals, how to actually put together a business plan that's going to be accepted. Would any of you be interested in me showing you exactly how this works? You give me a yes. Say yes, yes, yes. I want to see it. I'm not going to go any further until I get more yeses. I see some yeses. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I'm going to show you, okay? Now, what if I can guarantee your success in a way that nobody else can? Would you be interested in that? Because remember, cash is king. It's all about cash. Whoever's got the bankroll that could do these types of projects, they're the ones that are rich. They're the ones that can make these projects work. They're the ones that could also make you rich. Who's interested in that? Say yes. How many of you would be interested in me helping you build your investor website and your business plan package for the investors? I have never done this before. I built investor websites for my students, but I've never actually helped them build their business plan packages. It's the business plan package that will make or break whether you get money from my larger investor partners. Who's interested in this? Say yes. Who wants me to actually do this for you? Because I actually have funded hundreds of millions of dollars in property deals with my very specific, streamlined, tested, and proven business plan package. And I have absolutely never, under any circumstances, actually did a business plan package for my students. This will be the first time ever. Like I said, I've built a lot of investor websites for my students, but I've never actually built their business plan package. Who wants to know more about this? Say yes. And what if I could work side by side with you until you get funding for your deals? Who would be interested in this? Wouldn't this actually be priceless to you? Because remember, this is the only way you're going to be successful in real estate investing. People, this is it. This is the secret. If you don't have access to cash, if you don't have access to people who can write big checks and can bankroll your projects, you don't have a real estate investing business. You just don't. You have nothing, okay? So you can go all day long reading books about real estate investing, but if you don't at the end of the day have somebody writing checks for your deals, you have no business. You have no investment. You have no empire, all right? I want to show you side by side how I can help you build up that real estate empire using investor partners, okay? If you're going to succeed in any business, you have to be taken under somebody else's wing. Now, inadvertently, I was taken under Dr. Raj's wing when he kind of showed me how the whole apartment building world works. But even then, he didn't really take me under his wing and drag me to properties and tell me how to analyze things. He didn't tell me anything. He just basically opened the doors to a new secret, a new life, a new type of investing in real estate that actually changed the entire trajectory of my entire financial future. And so I've never actually been taken under anybody's wings specifically in that way. But I want to do that for you. I actually want to do that for you for the very first time, actually, because what I've just covered is just a small fraction of what you need to be successful as a real estate investor. Because remember, cash is king. You must have the cash. I can't possibly cover everything that you need to know in 90 minutes. You might feel a little overwhelmed like this guy here even already because you know you need the money. You're just like, how do I get it? I mean, she talked about grants. She talked about private investors. She talked about special OPM. She talked about investor partners. Like, how would I know which one is which? How do I know what kind of property to go after? What if I don't even find any properties out there? How do I even find any properties? Well, there's a secret that you could find properties too. I'll show you how to find endless amounts of properties, even if the market is tight like it is now. I could literally spend weeks training you. And then there's a huge chance that you'll completely fail at creating the business plan or connecting with your own investor partners. Listen, I've done a ton of seminars, folks. I've trained thousands of students, tens of thousands of people that have come to me over the years. I've trained them in different seminar environments, workshop environments, mentorship groups. And I have a huge success rate. I have to say I'm pleased with it, but I'm not 100% happy with it because I know that some of you keep struggling with this business. Okay. I know some of you know every nook and cranny, nitty gritty bit of what to do when it comes to investing in real estate. And yet it pains me and it pains my heart when I see you guys struggling and you're not pulling the trigger on your deals. And I know why. It's because you're lacking the funds to pull the trigger on the deals, right? Listen, that needs to stop because you're never going to have a business. You're never going to have a real estate empire if you don't have the money backing you. If you don't have the money when you're going into a deal, when you're putting in an offer, if you don't have anybody bankrolling behind you, you can never build a successful business. All right. You'll always fail. This is one of my most successful students in the mobile home park space. His name is Aaron Dunlop. Many of you have met Aaron many times at my seminar events. He came to the U.S. from Australia with very, very little money. He was able to get a work visa. He had no social security number when he came here. I remember meeting him. I met him in September of 2010. I can't believe it's been 10 years, okay? He couldn't use bank loans to fund his deals because he didn't have a social security number, right? So he connected with investor partners to fund 100% of his deals, right? A few years after starting, he became a multimillionaire with mobile home parks. The guy is absolutely brilliant. I will say that. He drinks a lot for those of you that have met him, but he's brilliant. But even then, he can't figure some things out, right? So last week, he actually texted me and he just closed escrow on a huge mobile home park in Texas. I don't remember exactly where he told me, but it's in Texas someplace. So he normally lives in Florida. He just closed a couple weeks ago in this Texas mobile home park, all funded 100% by investor partners. And he was asking me whether he should go back to Florida to go get his clothes or if he should go buy new clothes. It's like, dude, I'm pretty sure there's stores in Texas that have clothes, right? So go buy yourself some clothes and a car and go get your shit in Florida later, right? That's what I basically told him. So it's so weird because he's come such a long way in 10 years. I mean, he had nothing when he got here. And everything that he does, 100% funded by investor partners, and he's a millionaire. He's been a millionaire many times over since he started, and it's because of this one key secret, and that is he uses OPM or other people's money. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I'm not Aaron. I don't have that sexy Australian accent. I can't just talk people into writing a check. Yes, you can, because they don't care whether you have a sexy accent or not. They care about whether you have a deal that makes them money. They care about whether you have a deal that you're willing to babysit. They care about whether you have a deal that it makes sense. Okay, that's what they care about. And if you're not willing to babysit a deal or oversee the rehab or, build the empire from scratch, from the ground up, in some cases, new construction, then maybe this business is not for you. Maybe you're just not passionate enough about it, because these investor partners want to know that you're passionate about real estate, that you care about the deals you're bringing to them, and that you're willing to oversee these projects. And so that's what he has going for him. Okay, that's why he has been able to build such a massive empire. So this is a funny picture. We actually took this at a retreat that we went to. If you could see Erin in the middle, and this is his testimony. It says, although her techniques in mentoring her students through, what did he say? Through, like, I can't even read today. Through her techniques in mentoring her students, Monica has changed the lives of countless people, not the least of which includes me. I will forever be grateful and in her debt. I just love that. And I remember meeting him. Like I said, it was September 2010 in LA, and that's when we started the conversation, and I started telling him about how I've built my empire. And it was actually at a bar. We were sitting, of course, at a bar, right? It's Aaron, but we were sitting at a bar, and he just pulled me aside after my seminar event, and he just started pumping me for information. And I started telling him about how I was able to fund all my deals, and it's all through other people's money. And it was through that he started to use my strategies and techniques to build his own real estate empire. So he's great. And then, he's asked me, over the years, if I've considered opening up more opportunities for students to partner directly, and mostly because he wanted to do investor partners with my students as well. And also, too, he can bankroll projects, but also his investor partners can bankroll projects, too. So that's why he's asked me to find other investors and other students that can help, further expand his business empire, his real estate empire. So you'll be thrilled to know that Aaron, he's him and several others. I've had Andrew Shaw ask me too whether I could bring more people to the table. This picture was taken a long time ago. Sorry, it's fuzzy, but it's actually taken 10 years ago. The last time I actually did an event with investor partners, I actually had a ton of investor partners show up to an event for my students. This was the event back in 2010. And it's been a long time. That was the last time I actually brought real live investor partners in the room to talk to my students. I don't do it very often, because typically what happens is my students start burning bridges where they just hound my investors to the point where my investors don't even want to give me the time of day anymore. So that's typically why I don't do these types of events anymore. In fact, that was the last one I did, which was 10 years ago, folks. Can you believe it? And so who of you want direct access to my investor partners? Give me a yes, because again, remember, this is what makes or breaks your business. If you ever want to be a real estate investor making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in net profits per month, you have to have an investor partner bankrolling this for you. You're not going to be scraping up funds from your 401k and borrowing money from mom and dad and trying to hit up your credit cards and all this other stuff. The only way you're going to go big in this business is to have people bankrolling you, okay? So who wants to know? Say yes. All right. So can I share with you exactly how you can be my next real estate millionaire with my investor partners? Who wants to know? I've had so many students that have done this. And again, the key difference between my most successful students and the students that don't do jack nothing with the stuff that I do is because they all have one thing that all the other students don't have, and that's access to OPM or other people's money. And it's usually through the networks that they've created by plugging into people through their hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. You don't have to do that, because I have access to investor partners already. You don't have to be one of those people that's looking for your own investor partners. If you don't want to, you can, and I will show you how to do that. But you could also plug into my network of investor partners as well. Now, my investors want to work with you, but they're very strict about some things here, okay? They're strict about the type of deals or business ventures you present. So I have investors that are looking for property. I have investors that are looking for business deals. But if you could plug them both together to where, if you remember what I talked about with the restaurant on the bottom floor of this apartment building that we did years ago, and many others that we call mixed unit or mixed use rather types of properties, where we actually blend together business ventures and property deals. That's what a lot of them are looking for, okay? And so it's also all in how you present the deal to them. Listen, I've had some really good kick-ass deals come across my desk, but unfortunately, the students that actually put together the business plans, it looks like they're a third grader put together the business plan, right? And so we can't have that. This has got to be optimal presentation, okay? This has to be utmost professionalism. That is what makes or breaks whether you get money from these people, and I can actually put together your plan for you. I've never offered that before. By the way, this is the only time. And they also only want to work with those who know the basics of real estate, including what your LTVs have to be, your financing structures, your basic management. You have to know those things too. And if you don't know, I will show you, because guess what? At some point in time, they're going to want to have a conversation with you, either by phone or in person. And if you don't know jack nothing about what you're talking about, they don't want to work with you. They can sniff out a bum from 10 miles away. They could sniff out a phony from 1,000 miles away, okay? I will make sure you know everything that you need to know about this business so you can actually talk to these people on the phone, because I will guarantee you guys, guess what? You're going to be talking to these people on the phone. In many cases, they're going to want to meet you. They're going to ask you to fly out to them, or maybe they'll meet you while they're on some other business trip that's either close by or maybe 1 or 2 cities away. But they're going to want to meet you at some point, and you better dress well, and you better know what the hell you're talking about, because if you don't, they're not writing you a check, okay? Now, I remember it was really funny. I had years ago a student of mine, he came up to me in a seminar at the podium right before I usually have to exit because I had to use the restroom or something. He was grabbing me and he's like, Monica, I have to tell you something. And I says, what? I have to go to the bathroom. What do you need? And he's like, I just want you to know how well your strategies work on getting investor partnerships. I didn't believe it until I actually implemented your strategies, and it actually works the way you say it works. And I'm like, what do you mean? What tell me about your experience. I says, but you got to walk with me to the bathroom because I can't hold it anymore, right? So on my way to the bathroom, he's telling me that he did everything that I outlined as far as the business plan and finding a deal and actually reaching out, finding his own investor partners, not using my investor partners, but reaching out and finding his own investor partners using the strategies that I teach all of my students on how to do this. And he says, you know what? This lady, she wanted to meet me at a coffee bar. We went to a coffee bar like at Starbucks or something. And we went there, and she actually pulled out her checkbook and wanted to write me a check for the down payment right then and there. And he says, Monica, I did not believe you that it works this easy until it happened to me, and now I believe you. Well, yes, this is the way it happens, folks. These people want to meet you, whether it's in a coffee house or at a bar or over the phone or by Skype. They're going to want to meet you and know that you know what the hell you're talking about. And yes, once they determine that they like you and that they know what you know what's going on and what you're talking about, they will write a check. That's how this works, okay? It's that easy, all right? Now, there's one thing I can't teach you how to do, all right? I could teach you everything else, but there's one thing that I have not been able to teach students how to do this business, and that is if you have a personality of a wet bag, I can't teach you how to have a personality, right? I can't teach you to be likable, so I could suggest a couple of books. One is by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. You might have to read another couple of books on how to be friendly and how to be likable. I can't teach you how to be likable. I can't teach you how to be friendly. If you're neither one of those things, you're going to have to find a course someplace else, because the only thing I can teach you is how to get money from these investor partners. But there's another element you need to bring to the table, and that is you do have to have a pleasant personality. Even Napoleon Hill talked about it in Think and Grow Rich. You have to have a pleasant personality. These people do not want to work with assholes. They don't want to work with people who are jerks. They don't want to work with people who have no personality at all. They don't want to work with a wallflower. They don't want to work with people that are just rude. They want to work with people that they get along with, and I can't teach you how to do that. So only you personally can sit yourself down going, do people normally like me? Do I get along with random strangers? Can I walk up to somebody in a grocery store and have a pleasant conversation with them, and they'll like what I'm saying, or you know, they'll want to talk to me? Only you know the answer to that. I don't, okay? But other than that, I could show you how to do everything else, right? And I'm going to show you how to do all of it, okay? So here's how. I have coming up a 10-week investor direct and get money for deals mastery group, right? This is going to be a training to show you exactly how to find the deals. Even if there are no deals, I could show you how to find deals. I could show you how to do the LTVs. I could show you how to gain access to all of the financials that you're going to need, how to actually put in an offer, how to lock up the deal even before you get an investor partner so nobody steals the deal from you. I could show you all of those nitty-gritty elements, and even better, I could show you how to put a business plan together, how to do all of it. You will learn how to do everything. Now, this is a total value of $1,497. And who this is going to work for is somebody who wants an investor partner or private capital for your deals, who's willing to follow through with all the instructions I give you, okay? Not just part of it, not I'll get to it next week, not I don't have time, but I'll do it this weekend. Now, it's now. Your future is not waiting for you anymore, okay? How many of you realized when 2020 came that you have not really accomplished shit in the last 10 years? Be honest with me. How many of you have been thinking about 2010 going, you know what? I haven't really accomplished much in the last 10 years. You know why? Because you didn't follow through with anything, because you didn't get off your ass to do something. And guess what? 2030 is going to roll around and it's going to be the same story unless you decide to follow through. Okay, you have to follow through. I don't want you, if you're not going to follow through, don't even bother with me if you don't want to follow through. Because if you think I'm hardcore, guess what? My investors are 1,000% worse. They want to know that you're committing. They want to know that you are hardcore and really want to do this business. They want to know that you're passionate, and they most importantly want to know that you're going to be looking after their asset that they just bankrolled. And if you're not one of those people, they don't want to work with you either. Okay, so you need to decide if you're going to make 2020 be your year or not. And then it's going to be 2030 is going to roll around, and you're going to be like, I wish I would have listened to that Monica Main chick in 2020 when she said I needed to get off my ass, and I decided not to. Okay, it's going to come down to that. I also want to work with someone who makes no excuses. All right. You're going to have to find a deal. You're going to have to bring a deal to the table. I can't find your deal for you. I can help you put together a business package and a business plan. I could do all that for you, but I can't find your deal for you. You got to go out there and you got to make no excuses and just do the work that you need to do. But most importantly, folks, you have to have a burning desire. I don't want anybody get involved in this business of real estate investing if you do not have a passionate interest in real estate. If you are not passionate about real estate, do not bother, okay? This is only for people that are truly burning desire, passionate about this business. So you have to be honest with yourself. Are you that person? So there's going to be 2 segments, starting off with the first 4 weeks, which is a one-on-one training session. And basically, there's going to be me and you. We're going to be training for 4 weeks during 2 segments. Segment number 1 is going to be all about how to find the right deals that my investors are specifically looking for right now, that they want to write checks for, like yesterday, okay? We're also going to be going through every single way to get cash for your deals, how to actually do all of the business venture. Well, you can do business venture as well as cash for real estate and business ventures, every possible avenue that's available to you. And you'll know everything that there's to know about real estate, but also everything to know to assess a deal, as well as what types of assets these people are looking for. There'll be about a 1 to 2 week session where I'm going to be building your investor website personally, because you need an investor website. You need to look professional. It's all about professional. They need to be able to look you up online. And if you're showing a bunch of party pictures when you were in Cancun on Facebook, you better start getting rid of those pictures, because they're going to want to know who they're dealing with. And one of the things you're going to need is a professional investor website, which I will build for you personally. And I'll also look over your business deal. And once I give it the green light and decide that it's one that I know my investor partners are going to want, I will build your business package for you, your business plan package. All right. So then there's segment 2. It's another 4 weeks of online webinar trainings. It's all about building the business plan package. And this is the package that's going to be sent out to my investors that I connect you with. But also, too, if you want to find your own investor partners, this is the same package you'll be given to them as well. And I'm going to show you how to find your own investor partners on top of using my investors, all right? You're going to be given direct access to my investors, including their contact information, okay? This is why in segment 1, you must be thoroughly trained on how this business works, because the last thing I need for you to do is to pick up the phone and start bugging these people, and then you use my name, which is even worse, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about, okay? then these people don't ever want to talk to me again. That's why you need to be thoroughly trained in segment 1 on exactly what you're doing. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to give you access to my investor partners if you don't know what you're doing. Again, this is only for hardcore, serious people. This is not for people that are tire kickers in this business, all right? I won't even let tire kickers come in this business. So there's the Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week mastery group. There's a no cash, no credit system with the updated resource directory. I also give you a very special report on how to go from 200,000 to $1 million in property in 12 months or less. And I actually give you the resource to get to $200,000. It's one of my money guys. He actually can up it to 500,000 if you need upwards of 500,000. But I actually show you a little trick on exactly how to gain access to that kind of money, but also too, how to utilize that money to be able to build your real estate empire as quickly as possible. And so I give you that with the no cash, no credit system. The Get Money for Deals system, it's brand new, hot off the press. It's a $797 value. So you get a total value $2,891 with both of these courses, as well as the mastery group. All right, so here's what you get in the no cash, no credit system. You'll get the 100% LTV real estate manual, a bonus report, with the one real estate mind-blowing secret that can make you very rich, the $1 Million Resource Directory, which is brand new and just updated, quick start action plan, a DVD series training on exactly how to do every single type of 100% no money down type of real estate transaction, a 3-hour audio seminar, and all the forms and legal documents you'll ever need to be able to do these types of deals, okay? Including if you ever want to use lease option types of things, all of that stuff too. And it cost me over $2,000 in legal forms in that course for me to give to you, okay? Now, here's what you're going to get with the brand new 2020 Get Money for Deals system. You get the Raising Capital Manual, the Business Plan Sample Manual, and Flash Drive. You basically plug and play with these templates. The brand new Raising Capital Resource Directory, Special Investor Audio Sales Presentation, a DVD, which is how easy it is to get money online with a couple clicks of the mouse. Yes, there are private investors and private lenders online that I will show you how to gain access to, and an audio seminar. This is all brand new stuff. None of my students have it. You will be the first to get it, okay? And you're going to get the 2020 grant writing system software and grant resources. You'll be able to get the brand new, it's brand new grant writing system, including all the instructions on filling out grant applications. The system includes plug and play templates of grant plans and applications, a grant resource directory of all the available grants and websites to find new grant programs, both state and federally, and a grant writing software program to help you fill out fast grant applications. You'll get all of that, all right? So far, this is what you're getting. The Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week training mastery mentorship group, the no cash, no credit system with the updated resource directory, the Get Money for Deals system, which is brand new and hot off the press, the 2020 grant writing system, software and grant resources, total value $3,888. I love that number because those 8s are lucky, all right? But it doesn't end there. So I have a brand new list of investor partners for 2020, and I have a brand new Motherlode resource directory. So you'll be able to get both of these for a value of $2,997. It's only for the first 10 people. And now here's what you're getting. You're getting the Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week training mastery mentorship, the no cash, no credit system with updated resource directory, the Get Money for Deals system, which again is hot off the press, also hot off the press, the 2020 grant writing system, software and grant resources. Bonus number 1, my brand new list of investor partners that you can gain direct access to, which includes their addresses and phone numbers, okay? And you'll get my brand new resource directory, the Motherlode, a value of over $6,885, okay? But there's even more for you. Bonus number 2, the $6 million letter plus the secret bonus template CD-ROM, okay? So I think it was about a year and a half ago, where I had a student who was desperate. So he had a deposit on a property that was going to go hard if he did not get the investor partnership funds together to do the deal. So when a deposit goes hard, it means that when you put a deposit or a down payment on a property and a certain date passes where you don't cancel the deal, then the deposit goes hard, meaning that if you decide to back out of the deal, you don't get your money back. And he was going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so he was desperate. He's like, Monica, what can you do for me? I need an investor partner. And it was a very unique type of property where my investor partners didn't want to do it. But I says, you know what? I says, because I like you so much, I'm going to write you the $6 million letter, right? And this was based on a letter I had already written for myself and used to gain access to endless amounts of cash from my investor partner deals to get what we call new blood, which I'm going to discuss what new blood is in a second. And so I basically changed the $6 million letter to be able to conform more to what his deal was. And he was able to actually get $6 million within a couple of weeks after sending it to a variety of different investor partners that I showed him how to gain access to. So this is the $6 million letter that you're going to get. You're going to actually get this letter plus my secret bonus template CD-ROM, which I can't even tell you what's on that because it's such a secret. $997 for the first 10 people only. This is my student who actually used the $6 million letter. And he was so desperate, like I said, he needed quick money to be able to close the deal, and the property is right behind him right there. I created the letter for him. Again, it was based on a template I had already had, but I had to rewrite a lot of the parts of it for him. And he used the letter, he got the funds, and now other people, other students I've given the same letter to. Not a lot of students have this letter. Only a handful of students have used this letter and have gotten money by using this letter. You'll be one of those students, all right? You can have this letter too. It's a powerful, powerful letter. It can get you money for any kind of business venture or real estate asset or anything that you want to make money with. Don't you think that this is powerful stuff? This is powerful, mind-blowing stuff. I can't even believe I'm actually offering all this stuff. So now here's what you're getting. The Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week training mastery mentorship group. You're going to get the no cash, no credit system and updated resource directory with that. The brand new hot off the press Get Money for Deals system with the brand new hot off the press 2020 grant writing system, software, and grant resources. Number one bonus is going to be the brand new list of investor partners for 2020 with the Motherlode resource directory. Bonus number two is that $6 million letter with the secret bonus template CD-ROM. Total value of $7,882. But I'm not done. Think about it though. If all I did for you is showed you exactly what type of deals my investors want and what they don't want, wouldn't that be worth it to you? If I were to actually give you my exact business plan package template and the $6 million letter and nothing else, wouldn't that be worth it to you? I think so. I mean, I've never had anybody else give me any of this stuff. If I built your investor funnel website and your business plan for you, then connected you to my money sources, investor partners, and all my private lenders, would that be worth it to you? I think so. And I've never offered any of this stuff in all one swoop, by the way, to anybody. All right. Because think about it. What is closing your first deal, your first passive income real estate deal? What is that worth to you? I mean, I know some of my students that have been around forever. They're still waiting to close on their deal because they don't have cash for their deals, okay? So what is it worth it to you to finally realize your dream as a passive income real estate entrepreneur? Is it worth $5,000, $10,000, $25,000? How much would you pay to get a $10,000 net monthly income from real estate? Or $20,000 or more per month? How much would that be worth it to you to finally start investing in property? Because property will always go up in value. It'll always appreciate. It'll always give you more cash flow. Apartment buildings, they double in proceeds every 15 to 18 years. So if you buy a property today, it's going to double or its cash flow every 15 to 18 years. So in the next 15 to 18 years, instead of you crying that you don't have a pot to piss in, you could be talking about how not only is your mortgage paid off, or now that you have your properties, guess what? You have even quadrupled the income because you don't have a mortgage. You have double or even triple the income coming in, instead of crying that another 10, 15, 20 years went by and you still haven't done anything with this. Okay, so you can make some critical decisions. Here we are in 2020. You can make some critical decisions that can change your life today. All right. So you can see why others have paid me $15,000 or more to join my real estate apprenticeship group, which, by the way, I don't even actually have this year. And it's because I have the connections that you must have to get your real estate deals done. If you want to build your real estate investor website and your business plan package, and you want me to do it for you and introduce you to my private investors and lenders to guarantee your success in closing a deal without using your own money, would that not be priceless to you? I've never done this for my students before. I've never put this much work, effort, and energy into doing this for my students. Never, because I just haven't had the time. But this is an experiment, and I want to see if I can actually get 100% success rate. So in the past, when I was doing my 8-week online apartment building cash flow mentorship groups, I would have on average about a 75 to 85% success rate. This was back in 2009. Remember, that was one of the groups that Andrew Shaw was part of back then. And I had an 75 to 85% success rate, but I want a 100% success rate. I want everybody to get their first deal. I want everybody to be able to benefit from this. And that's why I'm offering so much stuff for the first time ever, because I want to see how awesome it's going to be for these people that join, especially the first 5 people. I have something amazing for you. So bonus number 3 is going to be, again, for the first 5 people, 3 business plan templates that are guaranteed to get investor funds. And the reason I know they're guaranteed is because I've already used them. I've used every single one of these business plan templates for my own investor partner deals, and they've all gotten money for investor partnerships that I wanted to do, right? So you'll be getting those templates too, but it's only for the first 5 people. Now, of course, by moving on this quick, you'll be getting all of this: the Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week training mastery group, the No Cash, No Credit system with the updated research directory, the hot off the press Get Money for Deals system, the 2020, also hot off the press, grant writing system software and grant resources. Bonus number 1, the brand new list of investor partners for 2020 with the Motherlode resource directory. Bonus number 2, my $6 million letter plus the secret bonus template CD-ROM. Bonus number 3, 3 business plan templates guaranteed to get investor funds, because they've gotten investor funds for me. Total value, $8,879. All right. So far, so good, right? What else are you going to need? What else do you need? Well, you need lots of investors, not just 1 or 2. You need a trainload of investors. Without lots of investors, without building a website and a business plan, you need all of those things. But guess what? If you don't build your business plan, if you don't build your website, obviously you're not going to get any investor partners funds. But guess what? If you just have a website and a business plan, you can have all these investors, but if none of them are interested in you or your property deal because you didn't, line up the right property deal or the right business venture, guess what? Your business plan package and your website, worthless, completely worthless if you don't have anybody to show these things to. You need to have investors to show your stuff to, right? You must have access to lots of private lenders, lots of investor partners, and angel investors. And I have those contacts and connections for you. Plus, I'll show you a secret in what I call bringing new blood into the equation. So I bring a lot of new blood in. I don't actually just rely solely and exclusively on my current investor partners, because actually they get older. They stop doing the business with me. I had one of my billionaire investor partners die last year. He was one of my biggest investor partners that I've used for a number of different projects, and he died last year, okay? Billionaire in the state of Texas, he died, right? And so, unfortunately, I can't use him anymore now. I have a lot of other investor partners that I go to for a variety of different things, but I was really sad to let him go. It was his time to go. I mean, he was over 90 and it was time for him to go. It was, it was his time. We all have our time, right? But I realized, guess what? Have to bring in new blood now. All right. So even though I have a lot of other investor partners, I decided to open up the gates to new blood. I've been doing a lot of different marketing and advertising, get a lot of new investor partners in, and I will show you the secret in bringing in new blood so that you always have an endless amount of investor partners to invest in your deals. Now, here's the problem with bringing in new blood. The way that I do it, though, is that the phone starts ringing off the hook endlessly to the point where you have to actually stop all your advertisements and stop all of your marketing for our new blood investors, because that's how the floodgates are blown open. So you have to do it in a way to where you don't have that much influx of people. Otherwise, it gets so inundated and you just become overwhelmed, and you're just like, oh my God, how am I going to service 300 new investors who are looking for stuff without pissing them all off because I don't have enough deals for them, right? That's a different problem. It's a better problem than having no money at all, but it's definitely a different problem because you don't want to bring in 300 new investors and don't have anything to give to all of them, right? So I have a secret in bringing in new blood for your deals, because you're going to have so many investors, your mind is going to spin, right? Inventory, though, I have to say, is really tight. So like I said, what happens if you actually get an investor partner coming in and he wants to look at your deal, but you don't have any deals, or you gave the deal to the last 2 investor partners and now he's coming in and he wants to know what you have and you don't have enough deals for these people, right? So what do? Well, I have a way where you can actually get endless amounts of inventory for your deals, because they want deals. If they want to work with you, they're going to want a deal. You better have tons of deals to work with. And in our inventory type market, there is a secret in getting endless amounts of what I call pocket listings, okay? So worried that you're not going to be able to find enough deals? During our first segment, our first 4 weeks of training, I will show you a trick that is guaranteed to help you find endless amounts of deals, even if you can't find any listings anywhere, all right? So bonus number 4, this is only for the first 5 people. I will set up one investor website that will be built by me. You could use either the ClickFunnels or the GoDaddy platform. You don't have to use ClickFunnels if you don't want to, unless you already have the platform set up. Otherwise, I will set it up on GoDaddy for you, which is it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. So $1,997 only for the first 5 people, because you're going to need that when you have all these investors coming in. They're going to want to see your website. You absolutely must have it. So here's what you're getting. Your Get Money for Deals Investor Direct 10-week training mastery mentorship, your no cash, no credit system with the updated resource directory, your Get Money for Deals system that's hot off the press, as well as the 2020 grant writing system software and grant resources. Bonus number 1, brand new list of investor partners for 2020 with the Motherlode resource directory. You'll also get the $6 million letter with the secret bonus template CD-ROM. Bonus number 3 is your 3 business plan templates guaranteed to get investor partner funds. Bonus number 4 is I will build one investor website for you, because when you have your influx and the gates open for the new blood investors, you're going to have a professional website. You're also going to have a professional website for the investor partners I work with. They want to see that you have an investor website as well. Total value, $20,873, $887, something like that. I'm starting to become tongue-tied here because I've been spending too much time with you guys, because I love you guys, right? So what do you need a website for? Like I just said, you have to look professional to investors and to lenders. They're going to look you up. You have to have it in your business plan, but you also have to have your business plan in a section on your website to download to prospective investors. This allows for new blood investors to check you out to make sure you're legitimate, but also, too, most important part, you have to be SEC, which is the Security Exchange Commission, Regulation D compliant. I will make sure that your website is 100% government compliant. If you're not government compliant, you're not going to be able to raise capital from anybody without getting in legal trouble, right? So I will make sure that you have an SEC Regulation D compliant website, which is the most important part of your website. That's what you need a website for, all right? So bonus number 5, it's only for the first 3 people. I'll complete your property or business plan investor package for you to present to your investor partners or my investor partners or both. That's a $997 value. And this complete business plan package will include a business card, cover letter, proposal, business plan with pictures and a pro forma of your property, and a grabber. A grabber is an interesting item that you send with your package to show that you're a more interesting person than anything and anybody else that they've ever worked with in their past. And so that's all the things that I will put together for you. All right. But again, that's only for the first 3 people. So here you're getting your Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week training mastery mentorship, your no cash, no credit system with updated resource directory, your Get Money for Deals system, brand new hot off the press, your 2020 grant writing system software and grant resources. Bonus number 1, a brand new list of investor partners for 2020, and you'll get their Motherlode resource directory. Bonus number 2, the $6 million letter with the secret bonus template CD-ROM. Bonus number 3, 3 business plan templates guaranteed to get investor funds. Bonus number 4, 1 investor website built by me, but that's only for a handful of you. Bonus number 5, 1 property or business plan venture completed by me, and a total value is 20,000. I think I've messed up with the last 20. I guess I haven't. See what I mean about the math thing, you guys? Come on. Do you see the math thing? I was telling you about it. I can't add for diddly squats. So the last screen that I showed you the math thing was wrong. This is the correct math, all right? I'm telling you, I have to have my 11-year-old daughter do my math for me because I can't do it. But I still am able to make millions in real estate, and you can too, even if you suck at math like I do, right? Now, you can see why this would be a steal at just under 5,000 or even 10,000 if you're not a non-Monica Main student. But then I realized I had two choices. One, I could go as cheap as possible, try to sell as many as possible, but then I wouldn't have been incentivized with offering this in the first place because my time is very, very valuable. I'm constantly on the move, constantly have business trips going, and I have to be able to make sure I can service you guys. So I have to have a little bit higher of an investment so that I can devote more of my resources and my personal time to guarantee your success with this, which is bringing me to my offer you cannot refuse. In fact, you'd be crazy if you pass this up. Crazy. This is what I'm offering to you. 4 payments of only $675, 4 monthly payments. All you have to do is open up a new browser at the top of your screen, go to Easy Street Millionaire, because only the first 3 people are going to get that extra bonus. The first 5 are going to get those other 2 bonuses. Go to easystreetmillionaire.com. So just go ahead and go to the top of the screen, open up another browser, and go directly there. Now, if you have questions and you want to keep your place in line, you want to be one of the first 3, then you can go ahead and call my office, 661-295-5050, choose extension 1. I have a 100% secure automated system in place to where you can actually put your name, email address, phone number, all that information, including your credit card, but make it very clear in your announcement, in your secure recording, that you don't want this to be processed until you either talk to me or my assistant to decide if you want to do this. You just don't want to lose your place in line, okay? So you have 2 choices here. One, you could do nothing, and then remember what I talked about. In 2030, you could be kicking yourself in the ass because you didn't get to do this business because you were too lazy or you were making excuses. 2, you can actually pony up what we call your small investment. This is an investment in yourself and your future. I make tons of real estate investments. I make tons of business investments, and I don't ever consider them a loss because it's an investment in my financial future. And you can just give this a shot because I'm going to make this 100% risk-free with a money-back guarantee for you, okay? So I do have a 30-day money-back guarantee on this. If you sign up and don't want to do it for whatever reason within 30 days, you let me know and I will give you money back on this particular mastery and investor. This is investor direct, by the way. You're going to be going investor direct, and I will give you 100% refund if in 30 days you decide that this is not for you, but you will not by then be able to contact with my investors. You won't be able to connect with them directly because we're not going to actually start doing the work with the investors until the second segment. So if you're one of these people where you're just like, oh, I'll just connect with all of our investors and then I'll just get a refund after, a week, well, please note that it's going to take us a little time to make sure you're clued in on the business, make sure you know what the hell you're talking about when you do talk to my investors, and that's going to take the first 4 segments, or the 4 sessions rather, in the first segment to do that. So if you do get the money back, you're not going to be able to connect with my investors. So please note that, okay? I want that very important and very clear. Okay, so the question now is, for you, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check it out because I'm making this risk-free? And even if I did only half of what I told you I was going to do on this webinar, it would definitely pay for itself in less than 2 months. Don't you think? I definitely know so. I definitely think so. And I've been able to make success stories out of so many different students. And I know the power of having OPM or other people's money. Other opportunities, they'll load you up with piles of crap, videos, audio seminars. I've had tons of my own students go through my own audio seminars and books and stuff. And at the end of the day, when they don't have direct access to cash, direct access to money, they don't do the deals, right? So you do need this element to be able to be successful as a real estate entrepreneur or any business entrepreneur, all right? So right now you can make a choice. We make choices all the time. You can either sit on the sidelines and do absolutely nothing, or you can get in the game. And when you get in the game, you have the opportunity then to score when you're in the game. If you're not in the game, you don't get to score, okay? You don't get to up your game. You don't get to make money. You don't get to do anything if you don't actually get in the game. You have to score, right? I wanted to show this picture because my mom, when she passed away in 2005, it'll be 15 years in July. She actually was living in St. Louis, and she was so happy when the Rams came out to St. Louis. And I just thought it was kind of a funny twist of fate when the Rams came out to LA. But so that's why I decided to show this picture. But the bottom line again is that, if you're not in the game, I mean, if you think you're in the game of real estate just because you read a book about real estate, you're not in the game until you're actually out there putting out offers and you actually have somebody who's bankrolling those offers. That's the only way you're going to get in the game, is if you start playing it. The only way you're going to score and win and make money in the game is if you're actually playing in the game. And until you're actually getting money for deals, you're not playing. You're just wasting time. You're a tire kicker. You're not going to make money if you're not playing, okay? That's the only way you're ever going to make money as an entrepreneur, right? So what you need to do right now, open up a new browser at the very top of the screen and then go to easystreetmillionaire.com, and you can go ahead and claim being number 1, 2, or 3, because I only work with those that move on stuff fast, and that's the only way you're going to get all those bonuses. So here's what you're getting again: Get Money for Deals and Investor Direct 10-week training mastery group. You're going to get the no cash, no credit system with the updated resource directory, the Get Money for Deals system, brand new hot off the press, the 2020 also brand new hot off the press grant writing system software and grant resources, my brand new list of investor partners for 2020, and you'll also get the Motherlode resource directory. Those are 2 separate things. Bonus number 2, which is the $6 million letter and the secret bonus template CD-ROM. Bonus number 3, 3 business plan templates guaranteed to get investor funds. Bonus number 4, 1 investor website built by me. Bonus number 5, 1 property or business venture plan completed by me, over $20,000 value. You're only getting it for 4 monthly payments of $675. And again, if you're not sure, go ahead and give us a call. Nobody's there now, but we will definitely get back with you on the next business day to make sure that you really want to do this if you want to talk to somebody, okay? Now, if you didn't sign up immediately, it's because you're just not ready to invest in yourself and you're not ready for a better future. Maybe you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you don't believe you deserve to have a cash flowing real estate business. Maybe this is really not your thing. Or maybe you just don't need this kind of money. Maybe you don't want to make $20,000 a month in passive income real estate. I mean, I can't answer any of those questions for you. Only you know why you're still sitting on the fence. Now, that was me at one of my recent events. Am I really special? Not really. I suck at math, as I've already demonstrated to you guys, yet I've been able to make a fortune in business and real estate investing. I suck at communicating with people, yet I've been able to raise capital, millions of dollars with investors like nobody's business, because I figured out a secret in doing that. And without the secret of getting cash for your deals, you'll never make money in real estate. So I know those secrets and I can share those with you. I still make mistakes. I still miss the mark. But guess what? I still do extremely well. That's because I keep forging ahead. I stay in the game and I constantly am out there, out there doing it, man. And that's the only way you're ever going to be able to be successful, is you get your butt out there and you start doing it, right? Most importantly, though, I'm the only real estate investor out there who's going to share her personal connections and private investors. Nobody else is going to ever do that. Absolutely no one will. I can guarantee you that. So how am I able to do this? Well, because I've been in the business of investing in business for over 20 years, I've created my own blueprint system in getting cash for deals that nobody else uses. And if anybody ever uses that blueprint, I, of course, don't know who they are, but they're never going to share it with you for sure. And I'm the only one out there that's willing to share my experience and contacts with you to ensure your success in real estate. So that's kind of a creepy picture, isn't it? Wouldn't it be easier just to piggyback off of me and my connections that I've created over the last several years? And I have to tell you, it's amazing how people don't bat an eye at spending over $100,000 on a college education that won't even get them a good paying job. In many cases, won't even get you a job at Taco Bell, right? But they hesitate when it comes time to actually invest in with a real expert who can make real money for you in the real world of business and investing. Why is it that we will throw money at the college institutions knowing we can't even get a Taco Bell job just to be able to get a piece of paper that we can hang on our wall? But yet when it comes to actually working with somebody who really is a mover and a shaker in this business, who can actually plug you into a network of private investors, why would you ever hesitate? That's the question I just don't have an answer to. My first college class on entrepreneurship was back in the late 90s. And I remember when I went to the class, I had purchased the textbook, which was over $100. It was my first college class. And I was so disappointed when I found out it was past mid semester. It was almost toward the end of the semester when the professor actually admitted to the fact that he never owned a freaking business. Okay. The guy admitted to it after the middle of the semester when it was too late to drop out and withdraw. I was so disappointed. All right. So he wrote this book about entrepreneurship, never having owned a business. This was a college professor. He was teaching a course on entrepreneurship, small business entrepreneurship. I'll never forget the title. All right. And this is the type of quality education. And by quality, I'm being very sarcastic, that you could expect to receive when you try to get a degree at a college. But guess what? I did it anyway. I spent over $100,000 on my BS and MFA degree. So I have a bachelor's and a master's degree. Neither one of them made me a single cent in the real business world. So I actually do have those degrees and they don't make me any money. All right. So why would anybody think twice about, you know, about spending money on your own future, and to be able to get a 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month passive income cash flow from real estate, why would you think twice about that? You should already be part of the group already by the time I'm getting to this point. Wouldn't you rather get a real world education that can make you real money in the real business world rather than just a piece of paper that's putting you in debt on your wall? These are some of my students that are able to actually get their no cash, no credit deals through my systems that I have in place, including Andrew Shaw, including Aaron that I introduced before, and Stephen Scott, and many, many others that have used my no cash, no credit, but also to my private investors, as well as private investors that they found themselves. And you can do it too, provided that you're willing to actually get out of your comfort zone and finally willing to work with somebody who can actually show you how to actually do the part about getting money for your deals. Money for your deals is everything. It's everything. You can know everything that you need to know about getting property, but if you don't have access to cash, you're never going to be able to make this business work. So here's what you're getting. Again, Get Money for Deals, an investor direct 10-week training mastery mentorship, a no cash, no credit system with the updated resource directory, the Get Money for Deals system, brand new and hot off the press. Also brand new and hot off the press, the 2020 grant writing system, software, and grant resources. Bonus number 1, brand new list of real estate investor partners for 2020, and you'll also get the Motherlode resource directory. Bonus number 2, the $6 million letter with the secret bonus template CD-ROM. Bonus number 3, the 3 business plan templates guaranteed to get investor funds. Bonus number 4, your 1 investor website built by me. Bonus number 5, 1 property or business plan venture completed by me, over $20,000 value there. And again, only 6 monthly payments of $675. Open up a new browser at the top of the screen, go to easystreetmillionaire.com or call my office, choose option 1 and put your place in line, and we will call you back on the next business day. Also, one more bonus. Okay, I'm so excited about this part, guys. So remember I showed you that picture that was kind of grainy from 2010? The last time I actually got my investor partners together in a room with my students was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, okay? I'm so excited about this because for those of you that decide to do a full payment, I'm going to give you 2 free tickets to the Investor Tank in October 2020. All right, it's coming up in October. It's the first time I'm actually going to have a room full of investors that you can meet and pitch your deals to. It's going to be October 2020, and I'm going to give you 2 free tickets to this, one for you and one for a guest that you want to bring. And of course, I have to say it's not actually going to be the stars on the Shark Tank show. They're not going to actually be there, but I'm actually showing you this picture just for instructional purposes only. But it's going to be like this, where there's going to be investors in a room. You're going to see pitches of the investors or to the investors, or actually rub elbows with the investors. Meet the investors. They're actually going to be there and be able to network with you. And this is powerful stuff. I have not done this in 10 years, okay? And for those of you that actually do a full payment for this mentorship and all the bonuses that I provided or are giving to you, you will get 2 free tickets to Investor Tank. I have not even announced this to the rest of my student base yet. This is a brand new event that we're currently in the process of putting together right now, but I already have several investors that have already preliminarily agreed to show up and come to this event. So I will be giving you 2 free tickets to Investor Tank if you pay in full, all right? So that would be $2,497, or you could do the monthly payments of $675, but I can't give you the 2 free tickets if you do the payment plan. Go to easystreetmillionaire.com. That's exactly where you want to be right now if you want this stuff, okay? Later on, if you decide you want to do Investor Tank, likely you're going to be paying that amount of money just for a voyeur ticket, and you're actually technically pretty damn close to getting this entire thing for free, because this is how much the voyeur tickets are going to be for the Investor Tank, okay? And the difference between the voyeur tickets and the pitch tickets is that the voyeur tickets, you just basically watch, you rub elbows with all of the investors that are going to be there. And it's going to be an amazing, great event. Every single time I've had my students who I've introduced to different investors during different, every once in a while I'll have like, say for example, an event. Like I'll do an event in Detroit, and once in a while I'll have one of my investors come in and he'll meet some of my students. It'll be just 1 investor or 2 investors. And every single time I've done that, I've had these investors do deals with my students. And this was usually a casual thing, right? They would just come to see because they happen to be in town at that time, or they were working on a deal at that time, they'd come to my event and check it out, and they'd meet some of my students. And every single time they've found deals with my students and have done deals. So just in the mere fact that you'll be in the room with these investor partners, not just one or two, a whole gang load of investor partners you'll be able to actually meet and rub elbows with, and the likelihood that you'll be able to do some deals and make some connections that could potentially last your entire life, it's astronomical. So you definitely want to, if you don't decide to do this with me, you definitely want to think about getting those Investor Tank secrets, which are not even on sale yet. You can't even get them yet. You're not going to be able to get them until March anyway. But you might want to start thinking about that, because it's a powerful place to be. Anytime I'm in a room with my investors and some of my students, they always want to do deals. They always strike up conversations with students at the bar, and they usually end up doing deals with them because they're there to network. And you'll need to be there to network too. But I will tell you, if you're going to be coming to the Investor Tank event and you're going to be getting your 2 free tickets, dress in a suit, okay? Be professional. Have your business cards. Prepare yourself. And you definitely want to have your website set up. You definitely want to have your business plan. And that's all the stuff I'll be covering in this 10-week group that you'll be part of, okay? All right. So this group starts February 12th. And I'm only limiting this to a maximum of 12 students only. That's the only amount of students that I can handle working on, all of your stuff with you and helping you side by side and, taking you by the hand. But also mostly that's the only amount of students I can handle, giving to my very, very highly coveted investor partners that I've been working with for the past 12 to 14 years. I can't just give them 100 people that want to do deals with them. I can only give them a handful, and 12 was a really good number for me. All right. So here's your special bonus for those of you that hung out to the very end. Not only are you getting a list of investors, I told you I was going to give you another bonus. You're also getting letter templates to send to these investors for your deals, right? So if you have a deal, I will give you a couple of different letter templates and my list of investors. So you actually have a template to be able to send to these people, whether it's by way of email or physical mail. Okay. So monicamean.com/list. Go there and get your bonus now, right? This is the time. This is a really good list. Very powerful investors are on that list, but most notably, I'm giving you a letter template showing you exactly what type of lingo you need to use when you're presenting deals to these people. That's very, 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 very important. All right. So get started now. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. Go to easystreetmillionaire.com if you want to go ahead and get started with me. I strongly recommend it because listen, 10 years goes by fast. You can either choose to have a solid cash flow of a multi-million-dollar real estate investing business or not. You could choose to be the same as exactly who you are and what you are today. Those are the choices that you have right now, okay? All right, everybody. Go ahead and do it. This is Monica Main signing off. I'm so excited. I'll see you at the top.